So if I push this over right now, do I get disqualified from the tournament?
I think that we got to start the new channel. Goose and Ezra course maintenance.
Course maintenance.
How about this? What if a couple of maintenance guys, unannounced, we won't say who they would be, come out, clip some of these tall branches on these first couple trees,
give it over
get
the
this
top?
hyzer out, you can get really good stuff to fairway. I won't say who the maintenance
okay.
guys would be or what maintenance channel, this YouTube channel that'd be, but
I won't even link it in the
Yeah,
description.
exactly, we won't do that either. Well, I've heard there's gonna be some course maintenance done, and if it's not done by the, staff, it might be on the YouTube
this
channel.
has got to be on us at this point, right? We got a year.
Well, if we do
Nobody
it
will
now.
know if we
No,
go in the off, like middle of winter.
Course maintenance, we have made it. We've got a podcast. Goose Man, myself.
It's not a meme anymore. We're not rickrolled anymore.
This is. If you guys fell for the rickroll last year, welcome to the actual thing. We did not leave you hanging. Thank you, Eli, for setting this all up. Wouldn't happen without you. I hope you're going to weigh in on a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so this should be good. And
it's cool getting the behind the scenes now. Everybody talks about Eli. Also, we failed to mention this as much as we probably should have, but congratulations on the win down in New Zealand. That was awesome to watch. We're all super pumped for you for that, and
Thank you.
I'm sure you were too. I mean,
dude, it was a moment. It was a moment for sure.
Cool
like a big
crowds,
ATR,
too.
good competition too. New Zealand,
a lot of solid players, and it got tight down the stretch too. So
it was exciting. I think that was the most viewed tournament on GoThro's coverage. So it was an exciting one.
That's a sick one. So.
Yeah, we'll dive into that one in a second.
Yep.
I can kind of try and organize us here a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick. Basically, we've seen some comments in our YouTube videos of people saying stop talking so much, stop yakking so much, just play throw the shots, play disc golf. And so we thought, what better way to culminate all that with a podcast, which is just a completely app session. 0 shots, only yapping. I think this is perfect.
You don't have to see any tree hits. You can just
nice.
hear our lovely voices.
That is nice.
But we've got a lot of opinions that we usually share on the channel that we rants for a long time. So we're thinking if we move those over here, then it'll kind of the people can have the 2 separate mediums they want to listen to.
We didn't exactly slow down though. It was an hour for the front nine and 15 minutes for the back nine this week. So
it's unavoidable. The season's back. Disc golf's back. We're all excited.
We got
to yap.
It's great.
All right, so each week we always have something crazy that happens the week before. Some story to have, but. I've got a little one. I'm gonna give a little preview of. Did urban disc golf last night.
That's always an experience.
Up till 3 a.m. It is always a crazy thing. And here's the thing: every time he manages to do this, you show up and you're like, man, last time was crazy, right? And then the first hole, he's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do, and we're like, you can't do that. That is not something that we are allowed to do as disc golfers in this world.
It feels like every single episode he makes more illegal somehow, but he had permits.
Yeah, he had everything. It's it may or may not work out. You'll have to catch the video, but let's just say I was like, there's no way we're doing this. You're joking right now.
Well, I got home at 10. I was like, oh, Parker. I was like, where's Goose at? And he's like, oh, he's doing open disc golf. I'm like, that checks out. Actually, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I think he had just left at 10. To be honest, or left at 9. It started at 10.
It started at 10.
Yeah. So you didn't miss it by much.
In Tampa, right?
Glow disc golf, which I think is a cool twist for it. Sick, and there's a lot less people out at night, so we're a little safer maybe.
Nice.
But make sure to check that out. It'll be coming out pretty soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just lay out a couple goals for the podcast. Why we started this. I mean, we kind of touched on that a little bit, but we're here to just discuss, our lives on the road essentially, and course design and other things of that nature, just things that interest us, and we'll bring them up to you guys. That's the big one. I think we want to dive into course design a lot this year, and we're gonna try and have a dedicated course design segment on every one of these podcasts. It was at least our thought going forward. So we'll see how it goes.
We got a few new courses too, so I think that'll kind of tie in, and then there's a lot of changes, being made, so we can talk about good changes, bad changes, and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan.
I think it's going to be great. We'll have guests on occasionally whenever we feel like, I don't know, it's a flexible format right now, so we're still figuring it out. And leading into that, we'll just kind of be catering ourselves to you. And what do you want? Let's hear in the comments below. What do the fans like and dislike about this podcast, and what do you want
Please,
to
if
say?
you have anything that you guys want us to talk about, we're happy to like at least look into it a little
You
bit.
can make that a segment too, like a Q&A section.
Yeah.
Drop
Yeah.
the questions below. We can answer them on the next episode.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, let's dive into the off season a little bit. I want to hear what happened for everybody. I don't know, Ezra, you want to
Sure.
kick us off? Let's see. Like, what is? I was going to ask a couple dedicated questions, and then we can
Yeah.
just generally discuss things.
Yeah.
But so everybody can answer. What is one disc golf related mental, physical, or fitness goal you set for the off season, and did you accomplish that to some extent?
Physical goal, I wanted to get even more yoked. I wanted to put some more time in the gym. Last season, I didn't quite put as much time in the gym. I kind of took off like before tournament days, and so then off season I can kind of get back into that. So I was able to put on a couple pounds, I think. I hope. And then mentally, I wanted to take this off season a little bit more off and like not just grind throughout the whole thing. I feel like most off seasons I just practice the whole time and try to like get an edge that way. But I found that like off weeks throughout the season and like taking some time away from actually playing has been really beneficial. So I wanted to take that to the next level in the actual off season and see if that would like refresh me and then like create even more fire for the actual season. So I think I did a good job with that, and then obviously we'll see how we play, but it should be good.
Yep. Goose, you got
Yeah.
some stuff?
So as far as physical stuff goes, I definitely got into the gym more this off season. Got a
Oh,
few comments
Goose.
in
We
the
like
video.
that. Hey.
You're like, Goose looking jacked.
Let's go.
Damn, it's paying off. But definitely was working hard. It's nice having the boys down in Arizona. That really helps motivate when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Usually I try to do a lot of like outdoorsy thing, but we got no snow this year. So Colorado's a bit of a bust as far as that goes, but we did get up for a day with the boys.
Yeah, I was in Arizona the whole off season. I probably got more snow than you did.
Yep. He went up 3 times and I only got 1 day in, but we finally did get 1 day of skiing in, which was a lot of fun with the boys. And then, yeah, I don't know, just in general, been working on, getting that cardio up. And then just lately, I've been actually grinding again on the course, working on my putting, stuff like that. So definitely have to get back into it before the actual season starts. But I like to take, through the holidays to be with family and friends in Colorado. It's hard to practice there. And then as soon as the new year hits, I can, convert that into, now I'm down to business, going to start working for the next year.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
it.
that makes sense. Yeah, for me, I had a bit of a foot injury at the end of last year, so my goal was kind of healing that up, a little ligament tear on the top of my foot, so just tried to heal that. Took some time. I was in a walking boot for about 5 weeks, and then obviously went to New Zealand, so just wanted to kind of get back and warmed up and ready for the actual season. So yeah, didn't have any specific physical things other than trying to get healthy and have a good season, and then just mentally and content-wise trying to set myself up so we can do a lot of cool stuff like this this year. And
How do you feel like the New Zealand trip prepares you for tour, or does it tire you out? How does that go for you?
I think it can be a balance. You have to find the right motivation when you're there as to what you're wanting to do. I was filming FPO coverage and then playing in the afternoon, so it definitely I'd hit Monday and be okay, I want to just lay here and not do much. But then there's so much cool stuff to do in New Zealand that you want to keep going and going.
It looks fun, but
Goose
it
knows
looks
the
like
year
a lot.
we were there, it was we would go to bed at 1 in the morning, and we get up at 7:30 or 8. Every day. We had 2 days where we slept until 9:30, and we were so happy.
It was crazy. You just could not get enough sleep because there were so many things to do. And then also we were trying to grind the disc golf, and then Eli especially was grinding on the content. So while I was doing a little bit more of the fun stuff, Eli was doing the fun stuff as well, and then also filming and then editing until
Eli really is
died.
just the engine behind the whole operation. I mean, the editing and
it
the
was
filming
crazy.
is.
It was wild because that trip with you, I got thrown into the fire. I had just hit you up in November. We had met for the first time, I think, in the summer in Europe.
Right, in Europe.
And we were just hey, it'd be cool to go to New Zealand. I think you were already planning on it at the time. And I just hit you up in November. I'm hey, can I come and do content and play and stuff? And Goose was to his credit, he was yeah, that sounds great. I bought a camera.
About it, and I was this is best case scenario. I can go enjoy New Zealand, focus on disc golf. And then Eli, wants to make a little bit extra money, make it affordable. So I'll just pay him for the videos and stuff like that, and we'll both have a good time. I thought it was ideal situation.
Yeah.
The things about New Zealand is one, you have to remember it's not really a money maker in general. So if you make the trip, it's you're doing it for the experience, and the experience is phenomenal. And
yeah.
I loved every bit of it. Mainly the people I met. There were so many cool people down in New Zealand. Great experiences, and I'd love to go back at some point. But it's kind of like a vacation where you're also playing disc golf, where I don't know, you're seeing a whole different part of the disc golf community. So it's like a conglomerate of everything I like in the world, I guess, and built into one little like trip.
Sounds sick.
It was great. They all miss you down there, Goose. They were like, when is Goose coming back? When's Ezra coming to New Zealand? So
I was sad I couldn't make it, but I had a bit of a situation switching brands.
Yeah.
So
it's a big one.
back to more off-season stuff. I switched to MVP this year, and so I spent a lot of the off-season negotiating contracts, stuff like that. Ended up being pretty stressful for a lot of the time, trying to figure out what was going on. A lot of different things going on as well. So it was crazy. But I talked with Ezra a lot, which definitely helped. He was like helping out with like specific things of being like, hey man, everything's gonna be chill. You're gonna be okay. We're still gonna do the content next year. Huge thank you for
for sure.
having my back, I guess, there and everything, because I love doing the content with you guys.
Totally.
So that was really cool. And then I was just like, I can't justify doing a big trip like that when I just need to like get down to business, learn the new bag, and get ready for the next year. And I've been really happy with how that's come along. So I guess that correlates into my like first tournaments of the year.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure. Go for it. Yeah, let's hear about it.
All right.
Continue
so
on the MVP train.
I signed with MVP. I had a feeling I was going to be with MVP for quite a while, but again, I didn't like start training until I got to Arizona. So I think I had like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks with my discs. Of practice, and then I went right into La Mirada. Parker hit me up and was like, "Bro, we're going to La Mirada. You're gonna love the course. I've got a place for us to stay. Let's do it." I was like, "All right, I'm down." Went down there. The course was amazing. It was a really cool experience. We taught a clinic. I helped out with a lot of different things, and then I just played a really solid event. It always helps having Parker there. He helps me with my putting, and we grinded it out, and I putt really well for that. Then Gannon came out for the Memorial, which was actually really cool, and I actually thanked him at the end of it, and I was like, "Hey, thanks for coming out." Felt a lot of nerves. And I don't know if I would get those nerves without Gannon being there. I'm not saying there isn't also good competition with everyone else, but I think everyone felt that. Gannon being there it's a different caliber event because of it. And came down to the wire at the end. I played a really solid tournament, and then just came up a tiny bit short at the end. Took a second place finish, but first and second, first two events on the bag, back, and losing to the best player in the world, not too bad. So I've got a lot of momentum going, I think, and really happy with how that ended up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you feel more pressure with a new bag, or do you feel like less because you think people will give you a pass?
So I have to say, the first tournament I felt quite a bit of pressure.
Okay.
I was like, this is one that I would love, and because of that, I put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I want to win this tournament. You know what I mean? And I came out and I showed that I can do that on the new bag, and I think that relieved a lot of pressure. Where they're like, oh yeah, Goose knows what he's doing. It doesn't matter. You can switch it up. Just put in the work. You can make it happen.
Right.
Now I feel like I've got a little less pressure. I'm on a new bag. If things don't go that way, I've got an excuse, which I'm not saying isn't going to be that way.
Not that you're going to take the excuse, but I think some people will offload it up. We've seen it before with other people that switched companies, and maybe they struggle for a little bit. And people are like, oh, well, he's just on his new bag still. And
right, and the other thing is I tend to have this thing where I'll have a lot of pressure, a lot of I'll be like, oh man, I've got to do this, and then I'll go practice until I don't feel that way anymore. I'm like, you know what, I feel good about my game, so like I don't care that all these things are going on. I'm gonna play well. So I've pretty much gotten to that point. This week, a little hairy on the putting, so the next couple of days I'm just gonna be grinding that out. But again, I'm confident I'll get to the point where I'm feeling like I was for Memorial or La Mirada there.
Are you having more fun now, would you say, with the new bag? Just like having to relearn parts of your game? Like, is it making you explore different avenues and like enjoy things a little bit more?
Yeah, it's interesting. It is a fun experience. It's an aspect of it I haven't gotten in a very long time, which is just trying new stuff. I've got like my old staples that I was throwing with Discraft for years, and then this year it's like, man, everything's new. So like I don't have any discs that I'm attached to. I don't have any things that like or like sentimental stuff like that. So I'm just trying out new stuff, and then every disc is kind of surprising me of like where that would slot into the bag. And it's tough because I'm like I've got like 50 discs, and I'm like, well, I want to take them all with me on this round because I want to try them all out. But I've got to like tone it down to the stuff that I know is working for the specific shots. I definitely have some spots in my game where it's I haven't found the right disc, or I haven't grinded the shot the right amount. But mainly those are the shots that are situational. Those are the ones where like, hey, I've got one of those around, and when that shot comes up, I'll find the disc for it, I'll find the shot for it, and make it happen. But it has been really cool, this whole experience. So I would recommend, if you've got your bag that at home, just mix things up sometimes. Try new discs, try new shots. It makes disc golf a lot more fun.
Yeah, for sure. Ezra, big things that happened to you this offseason? I saw you on a motorcycle.
Yeah, nothing. I took the offseason kind of off, so it was like a lot less disc golf than usual.
I saw you drive a motorcycle off a cliff at one point.
Okay, so people thought that was AI. It was not AI. I filmed the background part with my drone, just flying over the road and then driving off the cliff. And then I filmed myself on my motorcycle, just cut out the background to it, overlaid the 2 videos, and then I had this video, which I wanted to make that for a while.
It's not actual AI.
Yeah.
It was just an editing trick.
Yeah, see, humans can still do kind of some fun stuff.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
Okay, I appreciate
little rotoscoping or something like that.
That one did not get a lot of views or likes, but it was kind of a fun one to make.
Yep.
But yeah, I bought the motorcycle. I'd wanted that for a while, so it was fun to like actually get that and then rip on the roads and get a lot. Like once I started getting more comfortable riding and like I don't know, controlling the speed, and I'm not gonna get into the details here, but once you start, when you get comfortable with it, then it got to be a lot more fun. Kind of the same thing with snowboarding too. I went snowboarding a few times. Once you get the hang of it a little bit, you can actually like carve toe edge, heel edge, toe edge, and stuff like that. That became a lot more fun. Did some hiking. Went to San Diego for a couple weeks. Just kind of just hung out, chilled, and
Yeah.
I was surprised in your snowboarding. It was like your 3rd day up that I went with you, and I was like, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing. And I kept trying to take you on like harder and harder things, and you're like, no, bro, I'm good. And I'm like, dude, you could totally do this.
You just wanted me to crash, Goose. You just wanted to see a wipeout. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
You just had really low expectations for me. I think. Like, no way he could do this.
Oh my gosh. Last thing I was going to say, you kind of stayed on the content grind quite a bit through the offseason. I saw a lot of YouTube videos popping up, and I was not editing really any of them. I think I maybe did one.
Yep.
And
I had some more free time, so the editing for those wasn't that big of a deal for me, so I kind of handled those. Honestly, shout out to the advertisers that I had for those videos, because I wasn't planning on doing too much content in the offseason. Usually the offseason is a really bad time for views on YouTube videos, so it's kind of tough to justify making them because you put the effort in and then you maybe don't quite get the return. Yeah. But we had some of these companies, like cool companies that I like working with, reach out and wanted to sponsor some videos, and so I kind of told them, I was like, the views might be down, but I'm down to make videos, and so then that kind of helped keep me on the grind throughout the offseason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
No, that is cool. That's cool.
You probably had the most interesting offseason out of all of us.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Totally.
No, New Zealand is like we mentioned, it's epic down there, and Henry Pearson and the Tour Down Under crew just absolutely put every bit of effort they can into this.
They work so hard to make it happen.
It's ridiculous.
It's truly amazing what they are able to provide for all the players, all the experiences, the places to stay, the transportation. It's a ton of work, and it makes the trip just so enjoyable for everybody that goes and does it.
Yeah,
sure.
And so easy. We don't have to focus on so many of these other elements of what a trip usually entails, and especially going to another country, flying halfway across the world. You're on a plane for 13 hours before you get there, and it's like that's a long one, And but getting down there, it was good. I hadn't played because of the foot. I hadn't played at disc golf until I got to New Zealand, basically since GMC, consistent.
Wow.
I'd thrown into the net a little bit. I putted some, but it was a bit of a leap of faith going down there. I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to play. We'll see if it works out at all. But
and then best tournament ever for you, right?
Yes.
This
for sure. Yep. I would still look and say I'm more proud of Worlds in a way, just because last year, biggest event of all time, and I came out, took 27th, 1036 rated at that one. So higher rating for the New Zealand event, and I got the win, so it feels better in a way. But Worlds definitely another one of my best finishes, and that was
I
a fun
feel you
one,
there.
so.
I've had some big wins, like the one in New Zealand, but then I've had better finishes that weren't wins on tour. That you're like, I actually feel better about this.
Exactly,
Like,
and it's like over 5 rounds as compared to 3, so it's like things like that. But
biggest win is
the win itself was amazing, and I went into that week just like going in so much more for fun. I filmed a practice round. Levi Stout and I had filmed practice rounds, or we did film practice rounds the whole time we were down there, and we had a great time doing that. But I just went into the week enjoying myself, and I know that was probably our favorite week last year, maybe besides the off week, but was that tournament, the Australasian Open. It was the Tobalt Classic at that point, but they rebranded, and I feel like in the future that win is going to look maybe a lot better too. With the Australasian Open, I mean, it encompasses a huge region, and that was kind of part of their reasoning for changing it, was to have more appeal to the globe, essentially, and like how many people can we bring in from the region and from the states, and like kind of have that be a feature event, and maybe move it around to Australia or somewhere else. So maybe that event could encompass a disc golf pro tour at some stage, and then like if Champions Cup or something, like travel abroad, like in the future, like that, maybe 10 years down the line or whatever it is.
They're definitely pushing international disc golf, which I think is one of the big like stepping stones to getting like into the Olympics. So I'm a big fan of what they're doing, and I'd be happy to support and however I can, because I think that's such a big part of disc golf right now is spreading it worldwide.
Well, it's cool too. MVP came on as the headline sponsor of the Tour Down Under too, so it's
cool,
like kind of a, neat little thing that kind of coalesced at the same time for both of those groups. So that was fun. But
another cool thing about the Tour Down Under, Levi Stout is coming to America.
Dude,
to the United States of America to play. The second,
basically the
middle
whole
swing kind of.
I mean, he's only skipping the first like 4 or 5 events, right?
Right.
Like Jonesboro on, I think he's on the entire tour.
He's doing the perfect like visa situation where he's going like 90 days U.S., 90 days Europe, resets
back.
so he can go 90 days back in U.S.
He's thinking.
It's good. It's good.
That's the
So
key.
yeah, he's got so much talent, man. I mean, he won 2 out of the 4 events on the Tour Down Under this year, and looking forward to seeing him and
it'd be cool, man.
Getting back to shooting the crap
Get
with him.
some New Zealand
He's
vibes.
fun, man.
He's chill for sure.
Yep.
It'd be cool to have a Pro Tour event over in Australia or New Zealand, or a major. Didn't they used to have a major down there?
Right. This
I
goes
feel like we
back
missed
to,
out on that, because like I remember watching back in the day.
Yep.
Over in
like
from
2017,
Australia.
2018.
He's sick.
This makes Eli look better too, because like
for
Australasian Open, he's the champion.
Oh yeah.
Australian Open was a major.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
like it's in the same category.
That's what I'm saying, man. This win in 10 years is going to be like really cool looking. I mean, I feel great about it right now, but it's like the magnitude of it might change over time. So
being in early,
interesting.
right? It's kind of key for a few things.
Yep. Well, that can kind of wrap up our off season, maybe, unless anybody's got anything else.
It is wrapped up, isn't it?
It's over.
It is.
We
We're here.
We got 2 more days of the off season, guys.
Holy cow!
It's
Wow, it's on season right now. I feel like it's tournament week.
We got Pro Am tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of stuff been happening this week for sure.
Yeah.
It's been crazy. Grind for sure.
Yeah. I'll say one last thing. I've been on the content grind this week. We're getting a lot of YouTube videos out. We got a couple coming out tomorrow as of when you're seeing this, hopefully, assuming the upload goes well. But I've been on that grind because I got an injection in my foot to kind of finally deal with hopefully the last of the injury there, and I'll be back to playing at Big Easy. So out of this event this week, but I'm honestly fine with it. We're having a good time doing the content, getting all this stuff ready for the season. Like it's been kind of it's worked out better than I thought it might.
We're hoping the best for you for like getting better and everything, but we're also like, this was a really
nice
to take off because this week had so much content. It was crazy.
It was crazy. I do not think I was playing super well if I had been trying to play. So got to find the balance, but it's good.
It's crazy to just be back in full force too. I mean, we're both posting like 3 videos a week. Like this week.
Yep.
It's a lot.
We got practice. We got it's just all of it.
And
we're
doing a podcast now. Here we are.
This is like
this is just kind of fun.
At least we'll do some. You've been setting this up all day, I guess.
Yep. It came together, man. I don't know how, but it came together. Anyway, we've got a great content season ahead. Practice rounds are here to stay. Doubles that just got released today as we're talking, and that one's going to be hopefully a series that kind of sticks around since we have the doubles championship.
We're looking forward to the series, and we got a lot of good comments about it too. It's such a good opportunity because Ez and I have played doubles so much in the past that we can just kind of slot in right to like all the teams. I guess they're all like prospective teams.
They are prospective
because
teams, yes.
they get a chance to like try out their partnership and be like, oh, is this the person I want to partner with? Is this going to work out? Stuff like that as we build towards the preserve. And I think it's going to be one of the most hyped events. So it's fun to get a little like
it's a preview. It's like a little teaser.
Exactly of what all these
nobody's we haven't submitted teams yet, right? So nobody's an actual team.
No.
So like it is literally like a good trial run for all these teams to test out.
We got an email like a week ago about how to sign up, essentially. So that'll like come to us in early March, I think. So it's coming up sort of quick.
So Adam and Rick, if they were actually planning on being teams, they might not be after what they went through.
Right.
Exactly. They got smoked.
I'm just saying.
After the beatdown.
Like they might have been locked in, but now I don't know. They might have just ruined it all.
Just kidding.
That'd feel good. I'd like that. I'd love that.
Yeah, but also it's Rick.
Yeah.
So like my best guess is that after that happens, he's gonna come back and shoot like 1,100 golf all weekend.
Did we shoot ourselves in the foot for this weekend?
Yeah, we're gonna be like, sorry, we didn't mean to.
We made a mistake.
Yep. Also, he's won the preserve like.
Right.
2 or 3 times.
He's always the top 3. It seems.
Yeah. He's always up there at that event. So he's a good steal for whoever gets him.
Adam's bummed.
Yeah.
Adam was shaking. And the comments were like, "Oh, Adam forgot how to play disc golf."
Oh no.
We all forgot how to play disc golf.
It happens, man.
For
It
a
happens.
bunch of shots.
Yeah,
I am not clean there either.
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into. I wanted to talk a little bit about like goal setting for the season for us, and like set up the year more on the disc golf front than the content front. I feel like we know what's going to happen there, but. It was the first question. What's one results-oriented goal that you guys have for the year?
So I'll go first. I think my big one this year is to get a win. And that one's so easy to say than it is to like actually do. But there are some things you can do to like kind of push that. Ezra and I had some discussions about this. And one of the things I'm really good at is my driving stats. And we were debating that. And I think one of the reasons I'm good at driving stats is I play a little conservative. I like to, if I have the option, there's OB on one side and it's safe on the other, I'll leave my shots at circle's edge or even circle 2 on the safe side. And so I get a lot less like parked percentage and a lot more circle 1, circle 2 greens in regulation. And one of the things that's notoriously been a weak side of my game has been my putting. So giving myself those longer putts may not necessarily result in better scores. So I think for certain events it might behoove me to play a little more aggressive off the tee, try to park a few more holes, and then of course the fix that I'm going to be working on constantly is the practice putting. So that's my results-oriented goal, and we're hoping to make it happen. So I'm going to be working hard. I think that the mental game is where it needs to be, and just got to give myself lots of opportunities and see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. I think we talked about this, but I think like what that can do is create a little bit more variance, possibly, where you're going more aggressively for the pin. You might have those weeks where those shots go out of bounds more often, and you maybe get 50th place. But you might have the weeks where you park all of them, and then you can like just tap your way into a win.
Well, and a lot of times too, it's like you'll be in contention, and it's like you go for those shots, you drop down to 15th.
Yeah.
Right. You don't go for those shots. You keep your 5th, your 4th, your 3rd, right, like that. Yeah. But if you make those shots, you get your first. Yeah. So I think a lot of times it's like when you're in that contention spot, you gotta stay aggressive.
Yeah. I feel like you've gotten enough seconds, thirds, fourths, fifths to where it's like getting the first place spot matters so much more that it's worth like risking getting 15th instead.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I like that. For myself, I want to get top eight in standings. I like having like an overall season goal versus like a more pointed goal for where I'm at. I had the goal 2024. I think my goal was to win a tournament. And for me, that wasn't the right mindset because then if I was having a bad tournament, it was easy to just maybe not care as much about a good finish.
Okay, that's good to know.
For me personally, it's just it works better if I have like an overall season goal because then every single shot of every single tournament matters. Getting 20th place versus 25th is at the end of the season, that's going to be 2 more points that might matter or whatever it is. Right. And so that's like my overall goal. Of course, I want to win tournaments and get a major and all that stuff. But for me, I want to get top 8 in the standings, get that like Chase called All-Star thing. Yeah,
right. The All-Star has that.
That's what I'm looking for.
Difference. For me, I'd set a pretty high goal, but top 25 finish for myself. Maybe not super high. I took 27th at Worlds, so that one was like right there. I feel like get my game together on a given week, and it can come together like that. But I guess my secondary goal might be just earning a tour card for next season, so I can kind of stay out here and live the dream.
We need you, Eli. We need you. Please get the 2-0 call.
Yeah. Yep. No, we'll make it happen. Looking forward to it. Being back to playing at Big Easy will be fun. So.
Heck yeah.
Next thing I was going to say, what's a mental goal you have for the season on the course, and I guess kind of how that can contribute to the results goal, maybe.
Right.
As well.
So this is an interesting one I was thinking about. It's not exactly on the course for mentally. It's more off the course. I think that the key for me when I'm playing good disc golf is when I'm putting a lot of structured practice in during the week. And so what I'd like to do is really set a goal for myself to like treat it like a job throughout the week and really put in that solid practice for every tournament. Make sure I know the course, make sure I'm putting in the reps putting. And if I can get myself prepared enough for each week, that's what's going to get me to those, positions where I have a chance to win tournaments the most. So really mentally, I think that I just need to stay motivated to keep grinding. I think that that's going to be the biggest thing to get me into as many opportunities as I can.
Yeah, I like that. That'll play, yeah, for sure. I said I want to find ways to keep peak interest, which it sounds, I don't know how people take it. But I want to be as interested as possible as I possibly can be in disc golf. I don't ever want to have weeks where I'm just like ready for the week to be done, ready for the next off week. That's like the worst feeling, because then it's possible to play good with that feeling, but it's just so much more difficult. Like I feel like when you're like a child and all you ever want to do is play disc golf, or you're just new to the tour and you're just excited to play, like having that mental state of just excitement is so much easier to play good. It's so much easier to have the motivation to go out there and grind and practice and do all those things. Whereas sometimes you have a bad stretch or whatever it is, and like it's also weird on you, you just want off weeks. That interest declines a little bit, and then it just makes it so much more difficult to play good. And then it's like this snowball effect. So like I want to find ways to basically avoid that and keep my interest peaked. I did a good job of it for most of last season, which was really nice. Took a couple off weeks and made sure I took advantage of those and did some other things off the course. So I kind of want to apply those for this season as well.
So does this mean that we need to be like playing like disc golf content like at the house all the time? Like just like constant like disc golf, like this is what we're living. This is what we're eat, breathe. Disc golf.
Ideal situation, yes, but I think I don't think I'm at a level where I can do that with my life. I think if I made myself play disc golf, 15 hours a day, I would just burn out of it so quick that I would lose interest. And maybe I can practice. I can practice all the time, but my interest level is going to go down, and then that's a bad place to be. So like that, like I'm the opposite. Where like I need to like when we have off weeks, like next week's an off week, I'll probably take it like a little bit off. I'll probably try to stay active and do some stuff, but I want to like take it a little bit off, and then that way I'm like excited to go play the next week.
I think that's the better way to frame it in my mind, is like you really look at bringing that interest in the moments that you're committed to playing disc golf.
Yeah.
Like you come to a practice round, you don't get disinterested in the middle of the practice round. Yeah. But when you're off the course and you're like, okay, I've designated this time as like I'm not doing something disc golf related, then find something cool to do not disc golf related. Like I find myself falling into those same traps sometimes of it's easy to get burned out if you're doing too much of one of the same things, or like not varying what you're doing. And so that's why those off weeks I think are key to, yes, practice and continue to get better, but finding those moments where you can have time that your brain just can rest, because I find like mentally you can come back to something and it's a lot easier to come back. You're welcome
Luke,
to come in.
I can't even believe you to open the door that loudly, Luke. Don't you know we're on a podcast? He makes the elite team. He thinks he can just do whatever he wants. What a crazy guy.
Congrats, big man. That's a big step. We're proud of you for getting bumped up to the elite team. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, bro.
Sweet.
Thanks, guys. Wow.
Yep.
In this moment, I'm honored to.
I hope these mics can't pick him up, right?
Maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
I hope.
I can put something in. More work for me. More editing and post. We're good.
Another thing with that is maybe the doubles battles or things like that might be a good way of just being like, hey, this is a little different. This is a more interesting way of like staying motivated with the disc golf.
Yeah,
I could see some small like variations like that to like keep that interest going.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I've always been the person to like grind all the time, like throughout the off season, off weeks, just like practice a bunch. And I don't think that actually works the best. I kind of have likened it to like lifting. I like the gym a lot, and so it's like with the gym, you don't just work out biceps every single day. You have to have rest days. You have to take rest between workouts. And so it's like rest is actually part of a structured program.
Yes.
So it's the same thing with disc golf. Like you have to let your brain reset, like you said, like let it rest a little bit, let it reset. So that way when you go and walk it out the next time, you can actually put it in full effort.
Yep, 100%. For me, I want to find ways to close rounds a little bit better. I was talking with Goose about this a little earlier in the week, and just about how do I take a round that maybe I'm sitting at even or 1 over or something like that, and I find a way to dig deep and have a stretch at the end where I go, 3 under through 6 or something like that, and can bring the round to a couple under par, because at this point the tour courses are really hard, and a couple under par is that's solid. You're going to be eking your way toward the cash line with a few under.
You get a certain ways in, and you're like, oh, this round's over. And it's like, man, if I just put together 4 good holes here,
exactly,
I'm not out of it. I can still come back and win this tournament.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to find mentally ways to kind of trigger myself to play my best in those moments down the stretch. So that's kind of my mental goal.
Yeah. To go with this mental thing you're talking about staying interested and stuff like that, we talked about motivation. And this kind of goes to my next thing we're going to talk about, the physical goals. One of the things that I kind of slacked off on last year was riding my bike. I really enjoy riding my bike, and I think that it's a really good way of taking that off time and turning it into motivation. If you're doing something productive, if you're doing something active, something you enjoy that gets you moving, it's a great way of stimulating yourself and stimulating that motivation to actually get back into disc golf. So some of my best off weeks haven't been off. They've been off from disc golf, but on still doing things that get you motivated. So one of my big goals is just try to get a bike ride in every week. Try to find a spot. I've got such a good opportunity to go ride all the different trails around the country. And there's a bunch of people on tour that ride too. So I think it'll be a good situation to really stay fit physically, keep the cardio going, and do something that I enjoy outside of disc golf.
I love that, man. I like the bikes with motors. I don't want to pedal, bro.
I brought my
enough.
bike on tour, so I can get behind that goal, Goose. I wrote down that I want to ride on a 112-mile bike ride, which that's an end of year goal, but it leads back into the same thing you're talking about, which is just consistency over the course of the year. And
I can do that.
I'm excited
in
about
an
that.
hour on my bike. Give me 1 hour, I got that.
1 hour?
If I don't get pulled over.
Let me
Wait.
let me do the math there quick.
Oh,
I'll blow out how fast I'm going.
Okay.
oh boy.
The math's pretty easy.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of covered this one. What part of your game will we be spending the most amount of time on off the course, and keys to improving that skill set? I mean, we can cover this a little bit more, but we touched on it already.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about this one. I thought this was kind of interesting, and I'm curious what the folks at home think about this. One of the things I talked about with Parker on the putting was tempo. Okay, a lot of people like to keep the same tempo with their putt. So it's the timing from when the motion started to when you actually release the putts.
Yeah.
And I think that the best players have a very consistent tempo that's very similar every time they do it. And that's one of the things I've struggled with, and I've noticed that where my tempo will change depending on nerves, depending on wind, depending on a few different things that I'd like it not to. So I finally just committed to the ultimate way of dealing with tempo, and that is with a metronome, okay? I stuck a metronome in an earbud in my ear and just had a beat. And I was like, I am going to just find the beginning, find the end, see how that matches up with the timing, and see if I can make that consistent. And I just putt like that for a week straight. And I was like, man, it's feeling great. Then I went to the Memorial, and first 2 rounds, I was like, man, I just can't seem to find that beat again. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to fully send it. So every putt, second and third and fourth round at Fountain Hills, I put my earbud back in and just listen to my tempo. And it's one of the best putting performances I've had ever. So I don't know if that's worked for anyone before or if that's something anyone's thought about. It may get banned at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say this transitions right into whether we think we should be able to earbuds in tournament.
Yeah,
play.
But that's what I've been trying lately, and the end goal is to get to the point where I have this dialed in that's so consistent, so natural. I know exactly what it is every time. Full routine. But at the moment, it's just kind of like a training wheels, so I can just not think about one extra thing. I can just be tempo's not something I'm thinking about. It's something that's ingrained in my brain because it's beating every second or whatever.
It's a great method. I think it's really productive, and I heard you say that, and I was like, wow, that like I hadn't heard of it before, specifically with disc golf. And it makes so much sense to me. And whether it gets banned or not, like on the course, I don't think matters for you too much. We talked about this a little bit, where long term, if you're able to build that off the course and then bring it with you to the course yourself, whether it's in the earbud or not, you can translate that to just like an effective routine, and like you know,
I think that's the
your body gets the muscle memory down eventually. So.
And one of the things I'm really good at is driving. And you guys have all seen my videos. I do this thing where I go like, you know, in my throws. That's my tempo. That's me visualizing the sounds of my footsteps as I'm throwing the shot. So the tempo is something I have like super dialed in on my throws. And so it just would make perfect sense for it to be something to have dialed in on my putting as well. So I think that it has potential, and I'm going to stick with it for a while longer and see how it goes for me.
It's cool.
Yep.
I also put putting down.
Hey, we can all use the word.
Well, yeah, it's like putting something I feel like you kind of always need to be practicing. I want to do more like days where I do 2 rounds a day on the course and less field work than I've done in the past. I feel like I'm the most productive throwing my shots on an actual course where I have a tee pad and I have a gap to hit and I have actual shots to shape. Versus just trying to be creative in the field. So I want to keep my throwing mostly to the field this season, and then putting. I think putting off the course is fine.
I found the key with field work is sometimes you'll like play around and you'll have a shot that you're like, oh man, I'm not very like, I don't have any confidence in that shot, and then you'll be like, oh, let's just go do 20 minutes of field work working on that shot.
Yeah.
And then stick with the rounds like you're saying.
Right.
But it's like it's only when you find those gaps in your game where you're like, man, my backhand up shots that are like 250 feet, I feel like I can't execute this.
Right.
And you're like, okay, let's go hit the field. Let's get 100 reps.
I like that. Keep it more pointed.
Yeah.
More specific.
Just the things that you need to work on.
Yeah.
And then you can go to the rounds and actually work on the real shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, I like that. Or if like you're struggling with a disc or something that's like you're not quite getting the flight of it down, or you got new discs in your bag, maybe that's a good
You need to
place
see
to
how
out.
it flies, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good mode to get into, is just like work on specific stuff. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for sure.
For me, I wanted to improve my backhand consistency. That was the big one. Just my driving is always hindering me, and when I have good driving weeks, I lead. I think at Australasian Open, I led the field in maybe not tee to green stats, but it was like maybe it was tee to green stats. Okay. I should go look this up. I might put a thing on the screen fact checking this, but I came real close to leading in tee to green stats that week, and
that's the
important whole
stat.
thing for me.
Yeah.
Because my putt feels confident 95% of the time when I've put in the work. You know,
Right.
If I haven't put in the work, obviously it declines like anybody's does. But when it's there, it's pretty much often there, and I feel confident in it, and it's cool to have that. But I then have to translate that to the backhand and really the forehand as well, but just the backhand consistency is
Backhand
big
is the
one.
most important shot. So
It
that
is.
makes
I mean,
a lot
I
of
throw
sense.
mostly backhands anyway, so it's big. But
Everyone pretty much should,
Yeah,
just
so-
because it is.
just to fix some of those things, I want to address some of my form issues, a little bit of rounding, maybe a little high of a reach back happens sometimes, and then putting more time in the field, and then
Watch Adam.
yeah, dude, I was editing the video and I was like, whoa, this looks like me.
Dude,
like, can I be Adam? You know,
I was
like,
with-
okay, maybe I don't want that after doubles,
There's
but
a reason that he played that way in the doubles. He does not normally do that.
yeah,
No, his form's not too far off of that usually. I was with Anthony and Adam like later that day or a different day or something, and he was like watching back one of his reels that he posted on one of the holes, and he's like, why am I doing that with my own? maybe Anthony was watching. He's like, why are you doing that? And It's like, because he's just like way over here, but he gets it online and doesn't click else,
yeah.
right?
I mean, that's the thing though.
It's a
Is
results
like,
game.
I've had moments where I get it online and then it's
Right.
like, wow, I can play disc golf. It's really exciting, and you know, but you want that as much as possible. So that's one of the keys. For sure. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the meat of this podcast. I feel like we've talked for forever already.
excited for
People are bored, but maybe not. We can hope not. But we came up with five holes that kind of describe what we like out of a hole for course design, sort of. So like, what do we want to see course design wise on the course? What are good holes? How do we translate that? And I feel like we talk a lot in the practice rounds, or you guys do specifically, about what, critically about how the holes can get better. So what are some holes? I wanted to talk about like what are some holes doing it right, and then how can we like see those be more involved in course design going forward? So
Push those forward. Unfortunately, I was looking at my list, and they're very similar holes.
I had a
It's
couple
so
of those.
funny where I was like,
Yep.
Well,
I
how
guess
about-
that makes sense.
How about this though, Goose? Like, let's say you have 5 holes here, and they're all kind of similar. What if you had an 18-hole course that was all the same type of hole?
Okay.
You know, like that's like
Right.
you take the best hole on tour and you just duplicate it 18 times. All of a sudden, it's a bad course.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
I was thinking about this with Supreme Flight. I was trying to pick my favorite hole from Supreme Flight, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if any of these make my top 5, right? The
Yep.
course is definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. But one of the things that's so good about the course is that every hole is kind of integral into creating that juxtaposition between the easy, the hard, the backhands, the forehands, requiring every single shot.
Yep.
We did the video today where Kiefer was filming us. He's like, what's one word that would describe Supreme Flight? And I said, variety. It just seems like it requires almost all the different shots. And because of that, it creates such a good course without like one specific hole sticking out as just this amazing hole.
Right.
That being said, I did throw hole 18 on my list. One of the things is the grandeur. It's kind of like if you have all these different ratings for like what makes a hole good scoring separation, difficulty, all these different things going on. I think grandeur is such an important part of that. So 18 Supreme Flight is definitely on my list. Another one that fits the exact same situation is Portland Hole 11.
Yeah.
That is just the best way to describe it is grandeur. It is such an amazing hole.
I would pick a different one, but that's just.
The spectacle of it is amazing. Another one that I really like, this one's, I guess, similar to 18 at Supreme Flight, is 18 at OTB. I think this is such a perfect hole because you have that like island green with the water surrounding it for the approach shot.
17. Switched it?
Did they switch it?
Yeah. 18's like, right?
no 18.
Or did they switch it
18
from last show?
18's
They
like
switched
right.
it from last.
18's right
Really?
out on the
Yes.
peninsula.
18's on the water now? 17's
like-
used to be on the
It's
water?
like what 20 feet from the water.
That's 17, right? And then 18 you
No.
walk across
No.
the fairway?
We played hole 1 was the new par 4, and then we went over to 18 and played that plus hole 2.
Oh, you're right, we did. So 2 years ago we played
Yeah.
as that as 18.
So now
Okay.
it's 18,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And
I
one
gotta
of
stick my
my
notes.
one of my favorite things about that hole is you've got this pretty technical low ceiling straight tee shot. You got to get a lot of distance out of it. Then you have to approach this green, and there's no easy way to get a par. My favorite thing about it is if you are like, I'm in first place and all I need is a par to win this tournament, you're scared. You're
Yeah.
like, I have to throw some good shots to get this par. I have to commit to some serious lines.
That's the sign of a challenging hole on tour is if you can
Yeah.
get top 10, top 15 players to say they're scared.
They're-
like that, and that's what
they're
you're saying.
nervous,
Like
right.
you're nervous about that shot, and
And I
so
don't
it's
think
like
anyone-
And it's fair.
On top of
Yeah.
that, the big number is possible. I like that it gives that potential risk where everyone's like, okay, I need to not make the mistake you can't make on this hole.
yeah.
Speaking of which, another one on my list is Sprinkle Valley.
Hey!
Hole 18. Okay? I talked a
I
lot
just
of
pick every hole. Honestly, every hole of Sprinkle Valley.
I talked a lot of trash about Sprinkle Valley, but 18 is not one of them. That hole grew on me so much throughout the tournament, even after the practice round, everything about it, I was like, this is the level of, anticipation of like, I have to play that hole still. In
Yep.
order for me to tap out, in order for me to be done today, I have to play that hole, and I have to get onto that island somehow,
Yep.
right? And it's ended a lot of people's tournament.
Dude, that was a
just
rough
because
one.
of it.
I was like 3 under, I think, first round going into that hole, and I
Okay.
took a 10. And I don't think I'd ever taken a double-digit score before.
Wow.
And I took a 10. Now, I should have not gone for it, but then I also messed up these like simple
Right.
approaches that should have just gotten me up and down.
And
so
that's the
it's
thing
very
is
interesting.
it is a very simple shot to get there, but it becomes a lot less simple when first of all you have to do it,
Yep.
and 2 you're a little bit out of position, and then it makes you be like, okay,
Yep.
do I lay up 20 feet to get into the right
That-
position,
That was what killed me.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
or do I just
it's
send
rough.
it from out of position?
It's a good hole.
Because of that, I think I took 2 pars on it. I think I
Good.
threw to
That-
the
that
back
is
of
good.
the island once, super safe, missed the putt, tapped in a par, and then one round, I think I went OB out the back so that I got to take it from the drop
bad
zone
either.
and
Right.
made the drop zone putt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
so-
a sketchy putt.
It's a sketchy putt.
As someone who's been there a couple times.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, just yeah, I don't know, kind of puckers you up a little bit. So definitely a solid hole there. Last one I have to throw out there. This one's a completely different switch, but on the same vein is Northwood's hole 12. I hate to be cliche and say this. This is one of the most challenging holes on tour, and it requires you to throw so many different shots and have to deal with so many different situations depending on where you are. So there's a bunch of different elements. You've got to hit your gap. You've got to drift the disc to the one side. Then you have to figure out where you want to lay up to. And then you have to get this high floor, low ceiling shots at the end down a very long corridor to get to the basket and figure out what you want to do. The birdie is so rewarding when you get it. Because of that, most people are like chipping out to like a very like gettable place to try to save the par. But a par is amazing.
A par
on
is
the
hard
hole.
too. I feel like a par is weirdly harder to achieve than a bogey in a lot of senses.
Right.
Like I don't know. You often just get caught in these weird spots where you then don't make the right decision and go for it or something like that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And the last thing about it is it's beautiful. It's a few years worked in, and there's just grass that lines the entire fairway. It's an amazing tunnel they have at the end. So a lot of things about it just make it an amazing hole. So there's my top 5. The number one thing I figured out about those is they're all very challenging.
Yep.
Lots of risk reward involved in playing those holes.
Yep.
This is the pro tour. I feel like that's what we want, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you value like players having to make decisions on shots. Like that
That's
is
what
maybe
I find the most fun. That's what I enjoy the most, myself playing the hole.
Yeah.
Now, I'm doing this from a perspective of someone playing these holes
Right.
and what I like to go through in the process of playing them.
Yep.
But I'm not looking at it from a like, oh, this is fun to watch as much.
Right. But that's what your expertise is in, is playing
right.
playing the
Is
shots.
playing.
You know,
No,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, as much as we can, ponder the course design like from a course design mind or from a fan's perspective,
Yeah.
like we're playing these holes. So
Definitely.
that's how we should be looking
It'd be
at it.
interesting to see what people would let us know in the comments from a viewing perspective what their top 5 is, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it might be, it
It's,
probably is
I
different.
think it's going to be a little different, at least than my list. I
definitely.
was not going viewing oriented because you can pick some epic holes on tour. We play some epic holes, but I would not call them the best designed holes, maybe,
Right.
or our or our favorite or stuff that I would say is like that's for sure a good hole.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to be included in the course, but it's maybe not course design focused as much. Ezra?
All right. You've
got
got a little different views than I do. I'm curious to see how yours
I don't know. I
change.
put down 5 holes now. I almost put hole 16 at Nokia for the same reasons as your Sprinkle Valley
yeah.
hole.
Interesting. Okay.
Like the anticipation that you had for that hole throughout the entire week is just it never goes away until you're tapping in and playing hole 17. It's just like it keeps
Best
you on
decision
edge.
I ever made was laying up for it for par 3 times last year in Worlds. I mean, you
Wow.
can't do that if you want to win, but I saw so many people take like a 17
blows
or a
up
12
fast.
or a 17 or something on the first round, and they're just completely out of the tournament.
Check this one out, okay? I never had a decision to make on this hole. This was so nice this last time, okay? Round 1, I accidentally ripped my shot to almost the layup zone.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, well, I've got 250 in from here. Like, if I lay up, I've got 200 in. I have to go for it. Okay, so that was round 1.
Right.
Round 2, I hit the first tree. So then I was like, well, now I have to lay up.
Yep.
Laid up, got my par. And then round 3, I was like, I'm 3 back from Gannon for the world championship. There is
Yeah.
no choice. I
Yep.
am going for it from wherever I am sitting. And so, like, I played Nokia hole 16 without ever having a choice. It was weird. I was like,
That is
I took
funny
the
for-
decision out.
For the most decision-making hole of
Yeah.
all time, yeah.
I never had to make a decision.
Yep.
Sorry.
To
Yeah,
be
we
fair,
kinda
I don't
caught
ever
it
see
that
anybody lay that hole up. Corey, I think maybe Corey
Right.
lays it up, but
Yeah.
everyone else gonna have to go for it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't pick it though. I like that hole. Did not pick it. I picked hole 15 at Tampere Disc Golf Center
Yep.
as one of
Also
my
on my
favorite
list.
holes.
That one's amazing.
And you talked about aesthetics or
Yeah.
epicness, or whatever word you said that is made up.
Over the pond.
It's just such an epic. It's just such an insane the tee shot. You have to you want to throw a high speed distance driver through woods. That's just like slowly drifting the whole way, and then maybe panning out at the very end. Then you set up this second shot that's just picturesque and beautiful over this little pond through like 2 gaps, depending on what you want to hit.
Or just through the tree, too.
That was, some things have to just go your way on days like that, and we'll take it. But I think that hole is just like stepping up to that hole just feels right. It's like this is
Yeah.
what disc golf is supposed to be. It's like a
This is
perfectly wide fairway. You can hit
So
it.
fair.
It's fair.
Yeah.
That's what I love. Like I think every hole I have here is just like super fair because
And
flukiness is like my least favorite thing in disc golf.
the pond is so perfectly placed of you either have to throw a good tee shot or a good second shot.
Yeah.
And if
Yep.
you miss either one of them up, you have to lay up and
Yeah.
then throw a good one.
Yeah.
Like it
Exactly.
really differentiates that so that the par is not
Right.
simple.
Yeah.
The pond's in the right place.
Yeah, you throw a bad tee shot, you can't really just like chip up to the like short of the green. You have to come
Right.
with layup and then have that second shot.
Yeah. You
Still
have to
false
throw
shot
it.
still into the green. So
I had this on my
love
list
that one.
too. I want to
Yeah.
equate it to another hole that I put next to it on my list, which is Northwoods Black Hole 9. It's like nearly the same hole without the pond, right? And I
where
guess
it
you
drifts
do
to
have to
the-
go up the hill to start. But
the
I'm
right.
throwing the same disc off the tee, turning it the whole way,
All right.
landing in that middle fairway, and then you're playing that like sort of flip up, stand up, gap shot
It's a great
down the
hole as
fairway.
well.
So it's very close, and
Yeah.
I think those two are in the same vein. And honestly, this makes a point. You're going to see a lot of repeated holes that are good on tour. Hopefully,
Yeah.
well, some
Right.
maybe not, but
Right, we're
I
looking
think,
for a formula that
yes.
like
If you
that
see a hole multiple
equates.
times, it probably means it's a good hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that one has the uphill as one of its difficulties. This
Yeah.
has the water
Has the
as
pond,
one
yeah.
of
So
its
it's a little
difficulties.
different, but
And it's
close.
what woods golf, in my opinion, should be. It's fair fairways that you have to throw a very specific shape through, and then you can make some choices as well. So it's not just one line that you have to take. as
And there's
well.
still pockets that you might have to scramble out of too.
Yeah.
Like that's big as well. Like the line you're
good
throwing
shots
is,
that
is
fade
fair.
out a little bit.
Yes, exactly. But you end up in these weird spots sometimes too. But it's not
Gotta figure
unfair
out.
that you ended up in the weird spot most of the time.
Right.
the
Yeah.
fairway's fair enough too well. If you end up in a bad spot, you threw it there.
Yeah.
You didn't like get some weird.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're not cooked if you're barely off the fairway.
Right.
You've still got options.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Second one, I picked hole 18 at Portland. I love that you have an eagle opportunity on this hole. I love that it's like the hole 18. Portland in general just looks epic. So like you have the massive trees. You have the pond here on the full shot. You can kind of pick how aggressive you want to be. You've got OB everywhere, so you have to manage that. You got
pond carry,
a downhill, uphill. It's
Anytime they can add water. Here's
Yeah.
the thing, guys.
True.
Roped OB is good. You know, I like roped OB, and a lot of people don't agree with this.
Yeah.
We're playing disc golf, and disc golf is like, it's like golf with less money, right? So we don't get to put ponds wherever we want a pond, right?
Yeah.
So we have to put a line where we can.
Yeah.
But when we have actual water, it's such an advantage. It adds so much to the course because it's a different hazard. It's not the same as roped OB because you lose your club.
Right.
If you throw your disc in the water, the disc is gone, right? And so
Yeah.
it makes it a different hazard. I don't know. So I think anytime you can add that to a course, it really does improve the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless you throw a disc in there, then it really ruins your day. But it adds that. It's like that anticipation where it's like, it's so much worse. I also picked hole 11 at Portland, which you also picked.
Yeah.
It's just insane. I mean, you saw like the second shot on that hole is just crazy. It's like you have this mountain in the background. Well, no, that's hole 5. But that hole's sick too. Hole 6, whatever it is. That hole's sick too. But I like that was an eagle opportunity, but it's also like difficult enough to where our body still feels good. You can rip as hard as you possibly want twice. Like what else?
Yeah.
What else more can I ask for? I like golf courses, especially this one, because it's like everything's manicured and cut nice, so it just looks super professional and massive trees.
One of the things that's so
Sweet.
cool about it too is right off the tee, you got 6
Yeah.
different options.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how many
Yeah.
holes do you step up to where you have
That's
like
for sure.
legitimately 6 different viable options about how to attack the hole?
You know, that's the interesting thing. Like I love that. I love like the creativity part and imagination part that we get in disc golf is one of my favorite things. We get to see different people take different lines and different shot shapes. So when you have holes like that, it's awesome just to see what different lines people take. And then when you have a hole like hole 15 at Tampere, everyone has to throw the exact same shot, and it's like who can execute that. So like having that like balance is, if it's both done well, it's just it's incredible. So I love that. I picked hole 5 at Deglow, which is the only hole 3 I have on my list. But this is like what a par 3 should be, in my opinion. It's still a decently long ways. We'll throw in 480 feet, I think, but it's downhill. Again, fairway until like I guess there's one tree at the very end. But if you hit that, then you're kind of fine. But it looks sick. And
I thought about that one as well.
Yeah,
It's a great hole. It's a great addition to the course.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like woods golf. It's cool that it's in that like fairway.
Yeah.
If you mess up the shot, it's hard to scramble.
Oh, yeah.
So playing for par is not easy on that hole. You know, any upshot is a little tricky. I thought about putting on my list as well. It's definitely like up there.
Yeah. Just it's like some of these holes, like it's the way I think woods golf should be. Well, it's like it's such a defined fairway, and you step up to it, it's like, okay, this is the correct width. You know, it's not just like, you know, it's not too tight. It doesn't
It's
have
the correct width for that length and difficulty.
Exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
If you had a little smaller hole, you could go go narrower.
Right.
You can
For sure.
change some things. But that one is so long, so tough to begin with that it's the perfect.
Yeah.
I don't know. Amount
Maybe we can get into this in a future episode, but there is an entire course like layout structure on the PDGA of like what distance to use like heavy foliage or like you know what level of tree cover there is for what distance you need for it to be a specific par.
Okay,
And so that's a pretty
interesting.
interesting chart to look at, and one that you know
Right,
maybe
they're trying to give you
some other course designers could
a
look at.
guideline.
Yeah.
This is about where it should be.
So that could be an interesting discussion in the future as to like how that fits.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've one more, Ezra, right?
Yeah, I picked hole 14 at the Preserve. I'm the least confident in this one. I didn't necessarily think this through completely, but I do like this hole a lot. This is that par 5
it's the new
along
one
the river.
combined, right?
Yeah, it's
Yep.
combined. It's sick. I mean, you get a ripper, a big forehand or a big backhand out the gap, low ceiling, but it's like a good width again. And then you have like this downhill to uphill shot over a creek. You've got OB all along the left side, woods on the right side. I've seen people try to go for eagle on that hole, which anytime you have like an eagle opportunity, I think that makes the hole so much better. But again, it's tough to where it's like, body feels good.
I think AB got it.
Did
in
AB
the
get
tournament.
it?
I think
got
he
it?
did.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I saw Corey Owens go for it. And actually, you know what?
crazy.
I think I might have gone for it. I might have gone for it too. I don't think I got
That's
it.
funny.
Couple other things
But
with
it's
this
just,
hole.
yeah, it's sweet.
That I really liked about it. You get the second shot down that fairway, and what you have is on the left is out of bounds, and on the right is rough.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have more airspace on the left,
Yep.
and you have no airspace on the right. And because they've restricted your airspace, you can't shape a shot very well.
Yep.
So it's so tricky to keep your disc that straight for that long without fading back to the out of bounds.
Yep.
And you have to like throw down.
Yeah, so you throw a backhand, you can't just like swing it out on the right side because it's going to hit the trees, or it's going to cut in front of them and skip all the way across to OB. You try to throw the big forehand, and if you don't make it back in bounds, now you're taking it way back because you never
Right.
crossed. So it's like,
You'd like to play the forehand to go like away from the OB, but if you miss it, then you're way out of bounds. And then the last thing is it's perched on the
The
hill
green.
right
I
at
didn't
the
mention the
end.
green
Yeah.
for sure. That's a big one.
Such an important part of it, where you
Yeah.
have to
You have to be
play
short,
your shot
essentially.
short,
Yep.
and then you have to not miss your putt.
oh yeah,
Yep.
the roll away, yeah.
So demanding. I thought of that hole too. That is a phenomenal hole.
I like these holes that have like a bunch of different aspects, different options, different like situations. I like elevation a lot. I like good sized fairways in woods. I like aesthetics. That's really important. So I think all those holes kind of fit that.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Yeah, my list, Tom Bray hole 15. We already talked about that. I'll kind of leave that where it is.
Oh, good.
It's so good. Yeah. Honestly, I thought about this. You could put basically the entire Tom Bray course
you could put a lot of
on
holes.
the list. Like, if you're looking for one course to look up to, that's one of the ones for sure.
Hole 1, hole 3, hole 4.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. Ale hole 12. Goose, you haven't played this yet. Ezra, you've played this.
Yeah, which one's 12?
It's the one. It has the pond in the middle, and you've kind of got the two routes that you can go around the like middle section of trees.
Okay.
And then you've got the second shot where there's like maybe 3 or 4 trees in the fairway, and you can either take like a super wide spike geyser or a like up the middle thing, and then it's
Yeah.
perched on a mounded green.
Yeah, that hole is sweet. That
Absolutely
hole is
epic.
so cool, actually.
You talk about aesthetics. That's the
Yeah.
prettiest hole on that course, but it also is probably one of the best designs.
really
and
good.
it's really cool. I'm excited for Goose to see that hole.
Yeah.
And,
I'm pumped, man.
yeah.
That
No,
course is-
that course is like great. I'm really looking forward to getting back to Ale, and they've got the major now in 2027.
They got OTB Europe headquarters.
OTB Europe headquarters. Yep, we're all on
like
Team
that.
OTB now
We
too.
like
So
that.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's
yep,
sick.
yep. But yeah, Ale hole 12, really great elements. Again, like you can choose one side or another, and then you honestly have a choice on the second shot as well, and then that difficulty on the green. So
Yeah.
kind of has all those things. The next one I brought up, this is kind of an interesting one. I don't know. I just kind of threw these last 3 out here, but D-Glow 16. It's the par 3. There may be
Par 3
there's
is what you go with.
there's maybe some.
I saw this is crazy to me.
Okay, all right. Let me make my case first. But
I love the art.
maybe it's not in the best, but I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about it because it deals with a couple of elements that I think I like a lot.
Okay.
And first you've got the OB crossing. Like you have to cross
Full
the OB.
scary.
Full scary.
And then you go back to the drop zone. I think when, obviously
Yep.
Simon was able to make his play and like go super aggressive on that hole that one year.
Not great, yeah.
But yeah, once they put the drop zone in, that fixed it a lot. The big thing is just it was the first hole I could think of where the green was like, if you mess up your shot, you kind of don't have a putt on one side versus the other. And now it's a little bit tight maybe with the OB on the right side, but if you get in front of those cedar trees there over on the left, like 40, 50 feet short, you just don't have a putt to the green. Yeah, you can lay up underneath, and that's fine. But you just don't have something. And I kind of I like that element, and that's sort of the element I'm focusing on in this hole. It's maybe not that the hole itself is great, but
The
it's
other
like,
element I like about it is there's a pure straight line to the basket, as well as there's a forehand line that's that it's not as good. You know that you're maybe not getting to the basket, but you're probably getting a par.
Yeah.
Versus that other one, you have to draw it really close to those trees that are out of bounds. You catch those.
Yep.
Drop zone. Yeah. So I like that there's a couple options, and one of them is like a safer play with a chance at birdie, and one of them is like a birdie play that could be drop zone.
Yeah.
So there are some really good elements about it.
It's true. That is true. That's valid.
They also pushed the OB back behind that first tree, which I thought improved it tremendously, because now shots that missed and hit that tree were out of bounds. They changed a couple small things to a few of these holes after our practice rounds.
Yeah.
Kind of salty about that, but we do our practice rounds early.
They changed it because of us, though. No, I'm kidding. I got it.
That actually make the holes a lot better, and
That's
we
true. That
don't
one
get a
has
chance
been.
to like talk about those little tweaks that improve the holes dramatically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does help a lot. I don't love the gap on that one. It's like I feel like it's all like branches, and so then you have a lot of people like miss the actual defined gap and then fight through and stuff.
Right.
I think it's like
I can see that.
I think it's like a bottom 5 hole for close. I like that close though. But the elements you
Fair
mentioned,
enough. Yeah.
the elements you mentioned, I think
The
all
reason
valid.
I brought it up was kind of that like cutoff point on the green.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be a design element a lot more, where there's just a side of the green that you cannot go to.
Yeah.
In loss, you want to have to just like pitch up, and then there's a miss. Now that one doesn't really have the miss as much. Maybe are there other holes you could think of that like emulate that? Because I just like off the top of my head, it was not coming up with something. So that's why I got to this.
One thing I got to throw out there, and maybe this is a skill issue, and I will throw that out there.
Yep.
Round one on that hole, I threw my shot to 40 feet. I had a wide open putt. You know, I could have run it. Wind was ripping, and I was like, Goss, you're smarter than this, okay? I laid it up, right? And I threw the nice little soft thing. I landed it nice and flat, landed it 5 feet short. Doing straight out of
rolled
bounds.
OB?
Got the bogey anyway. And I was so pissed off.
See, you gotta play more aggressive, man. I'm telling you, you gotta go
Play
for these
more
pins.
aggressive.
Boy, all right. I guess I gotta eat my words on that one a little bit. No,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Those are valid points.
Story time.
Those are valid
Yeah,
points.
I brought up these last 3 holes kind of for discussion points more than anything, and I wanted to put some par 3s on there because I think I can just go to the well of like good par 4s and 5s on the tour, and I just want to like kind of draw in some elements of what a good par 3 is.
Maple Hill hole 15 is a great one to
Yep,
talk
that's
about.
the next one.
Let's see what do you like about this?
The water carry is at the entire length of the hole, and that's like a very interesting element, and I think it's something that, again, you talked about this element of like scaring the player a little bit. This one scares the player. I think the other thing that is good, correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't play the event. I've never technically played the event, but I went out and filmed for you guys last year, so I saw the thing. You can bail off into the woods and it's still safe, right?
You can.
Yeah, and that's big because you can make that decision and be completely safe, and then you have the longer putt. And again, a lot of my like information and decisions or thoughts in course design come from this decision making on the green as opposed to like driving decisions. And I know that's like kind of the opposite of you guys, but it's nice to like force somebody to make decisions on the green, and it's tough.
Totally agree.
It's tough to make that happen sometimes, and I think this is a hole that does that.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you, and I almost put this hole in my top 5. It was one of the par 3s. I was really thinking of. I thought of Deagla. I thought of this one. Here's a few things I love about this hole. The bailout zone is actually one of the things that I'm not sure I like as much. Okay, and I think it's one of the reasons I don't have it in my top is that you can just get a par.
Yeah.
It is not a hard par to get. You just throw it into the woods. You jump putt 90 feet and you get a par. And I think that's one of the things I really don't like about it. So here are the things I really like about it. Okay, the water itself goes to the short drop zone. So if you throw a bad enough shot that you stay in the water, you go to the short drop zone, which is then a par 3, like a normal par 3 to the pin.
Scary shot.
It's a really tough shot. Double bogey is definitely in play. Triple bogey's even in play, right? If you do cross inbounds but roll back out, hit the wall, something like that, you get to go to the short drop zone, which is a spectacle putt. And I love the distinction between the two because you're punishing two different shots in two different ways that seem fitting to how they are.
Yeah.
The aesthetics of the hole are incredible. What they've done with it is they've created this wall that creates a very defined feature of what you have to clear, what is out of bounds, what's not, and it looks amazing. They put the MVP on there, they put the logs, everything they've done with the aesthetics there, just incredible. The last thing that I didn't ever think about that Steve Dodge is such a big proponent of is the spectacle, okay? He does almost everything for the fans.
Yeah.
He doesn't think about like what's good disc golf, what's bad disc golf. He thinks about what's fun to watch.
Right.
And he said,
I
what's
love that.
fun to watch is someone making a putt that is standing 5 feet from you. And you've got these bleachers of the people right there watching disc golf happen, literally feet from them. Like what other pro sport
Really
do
good
you
point.
have where the professional players are competing, you know, just right next to you?
Hockey.
Right. Through the glass.
Glass, baby.
Um,
But yeah, it's a really good point. I think that's an important point to think about.
The spectator fans is
Spectator,
just
that's
something
like-
that we lack. The even the inside, we
Right.
don't watch it
Right.
like almost ever.
You
know?
can't
We
really
don't-
play if nobody watches. We wouldn't,
Right.
we wouldn't have
But
dogs.
it's almost the most important perspective
For sure.
on what holes should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is on that hole specifically, if you throw a bad shot that flips up too straight, you go straight into the bleachers long. Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, it could kill someone. Maybe that's good, fan engagement. I don't know. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
what else
alright.
will you get killed while you
Hey, calm,
watch?
calm down, calm down.
No,
Goose.
I'm just saying that there's some people that are like, bro, it's sick that they just throw right at us. Come on,
Okay,
like,
all right,
wouldn't want that.
we have to
I
dog
guess
down
maybe
the
there are
way.
some fans who enjoy that.
I'm not
part,
saying
but
get killed,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
maybe
no,
some
no,
people
I-
like
yeah.
that. It's a bad
Good
shot
bruise.
objectively, and it's a really good lie because you have like a 25-foot putt, and it's not even a
It's my
depth
favorite
putt.
spot.
It's the
okay.
best spot to be on the hole.
Yeah.
So I talked to him in the future, and he hadn't even considered that, and he's
Right.
going to make that section out of bounds in the future, which I think will improve the hole, but it'll kind of take
Well, I'm going
away
to shoot 3
from
shots whilst around now.
from
I'm
the-
always in that spot.
the fan perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of really interesting things to think about that hole, and it's cool that Steve Dodge has put a lot of perspective
Did
to that.
you went up there
And
this offseason and talked with him about
I went up
it,
to
right?
Maple Hill this last offseason.
cool.
Steve was like, "Man, I love your insights. You first brought to my attention when you made the comment about Maple Hill and why you don't like it." And I was like, "Why doesn't he like it? Let me get these perspectives." And after talking to him, I realized that it's a lot of this like I'm viewing it from a player perspective on a lot of these things, and he's viewing it from a fan perspective on a lot of things.
Right.
And then he also has like a big picture of like where I want the course to go versus where it is now. And it's hard to like see all these things without having this conversation. So
Yep.
it was a truly amazing conversation. It's cool to see where Maple Hill is going to be going in the future. And one of the really fun things that he talked about was he introduced hole 9. Okay.
Yep.
Such a hard hole. There were like 4 birdies on it for the weekend the first year.
Yeah.
Right. The next year, there were like 30 birdies on it. Right. So people just figured it out. They just got better. The sport just got better, right? And he's like, I created hole 17 this last year, and everyone's like, oh, it's so hard. And then by the end of the tournament, they were birdieing it.
Yeah.
So he's like, what I'm doing is making holes that are too hard,
Yeah.
and then we catch up.
Yeah.
And it's a
It's
really
crazy vision. That's
interesting
impressive.
perspective, and everybody's mad about him all the time. And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't care.
Right.
I'm just going to
Respect.
keep doing that. I put 17 as one of my favorite holes as well.
Okay. Yep.
And it's such a fun, I don't know, variation of what we've had in the year, where it's like it's the same green, it's the same stuff you have to do, but we're just making the tee shot
600-foot tee
so much harder.
Yeah.
And that's what we need is the hard tee shot.
Yeah.
The last thing that I thought was so cool about the thing was our course design talks. And we talked a lot about like what makes good course design, what does this, what does that. And some of them are very small changes. Okay, so here's a great example of this. This is one I love for course design.
Yep.
Hole 18 at Maple Hill. We were like, he was like, "Is that hole too easy? Lots of people birdie it." And we're like, "The hole's definitely not too easy." Okay.
Yeah.
But I was like, if you wanted to make it harder, all you have to do is take the first hill, the wall that's 30 feet in front of the tee pad, and raise it 6 inches. That's all you have to do, and you've made the hole like 0.2 strokes harder. Because everybody has to throw more nose up. They have to get over that wall more, makes the shots hyzer out more. And it's such a small change of just like you just raise the floor a tiny bit, and all of a sudden the hole's so much harder. We thought the same thing. This might be a change in the future that happens. 13, that downhill hole that's a little bit of poke and hope. He doesn't like that. So he brought the basket down into the spot that's a little more predictable, but then it became a little too easy.
Yeah.
And what we talked about is if you move the tee pad back 20 feet now you have a floor. You have a floor on a downhill hole. So you have to throw over the hill that you're currently on.
Right, okay.
And it's not poke and hope because you've got a nice wide fair gap.
Yeah.
And there's a chance that that could be the future of the hole. And these are things we just, we just thought about. We're prospecting, different things that could happen. The other thing he does is he does the long-term plan with the trees, where he's like, I'm planting trees here because I want this to not be somewhere people play.
Right,
I'm going to cut down trees next here. It's not happening right now, but this is the next spot that they're going to get cut down.
Yeah, the
to
tree
create
farm is
this
very
fairway.
interesting.
Very interesting.
You can make
aspect
so
of
many
that.
decisions. It's like live, or as close to live changes as you can to like open holes, sort of, in a way.
Definitely.
Yeah, very
I
interesting.
thought it was a really eye-opening perspective on just like thinking about it from a fan perspective. And I've started doing that a little bit more of like, they really like seeing this. They don't like seeing blind holes.
Right.
One of the things he really hates are par fives.
Yeah.
He says on any par five, the fan that's watching on TV has no idea what a good shot is. They don't know where they're going. They don't know where they are.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And it makes for very unviewable stuff. And as a player, I'm like, I love par fives.
Yeah.
Decision making.
Right.
You have to have a game plan. You have to execute, scramble.
Yeah.
So really cool experience, and I'm really glad that Steve made that happen for me.
That's cool. Yeah.
I wonder what like if that is true about par fives. I wonder if the fault is the par five, or like how it's filmed, or how it's presented, or how it's talked about, or something. Because like we've got to have par fives and fours. If every hole was a par three, I think
And I
if
think
every hole was
that's-
hole 8, it would just be a bad course. That's a cool hole, but it's like
he's thinking of like the technology we have right
Yeah.
now, and I think that like golf does a really good job of showing everything, and I think disc golf is getting better,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we need more graphics. We need more things to really show what they're doing. We
Right.
need the camera crews and the production company to be like such on the same wavelength. Like
Yeah.
it'll just keep getting better and
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
But as that improves, I agree that's what we need to happen for the par fives to be viewable.
I will say it was tough to come back from New Zealand, and I was in part of the GoPro production, and like they have all these angles to cut to and everything, and it was really cool. And then now I'm like, oh shoot, I have one camera, and it's like if I mess up my zoom or whatever, I don't have another angle, I don't have anything else. Like,
Right.
not that I strive to not mess up my zoom very much,
Yeah.
but it's like it's so restrictive in like what we're doing. So I think hopefully this year with content we can find a couple ways around that. I have a few ideas, but we'll
Okay, cool, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's more obviously for the bigger production stuff. We just
Yeah.
want to get content out for the fans. So it's a little more of that speed. But my last hole I want to
you've
bring
got
up
one more,
is
my bad.
Yep, Tom Brady hole 6, and we'll try and keep this short. But
this is such a
we're already so far into this podcast. Anyway,
this is such, yeah, okay.
okay, the reasons I like it, I'll keep it as short as I can. It's a par 3. It's completely manicured and designed green.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about it is there's a side to land on. And if you land to the left and up on that like hill-ish part,
Right.
it's not like as steep as the complete drop-off that you sometimes stick on, sometimes don't, which that part I don't like as much. But it's as close as you can get to having like a you can't land here sort of a vibe.
Yeah.
The left side, you have a 20-footer, and then you just have to make this putt. And this scary putt that could roll away into this little water, which I think that should maybe be
windy.
gone and stuff. But
is.
there's a lot of like elements to this hole. But
And you're
Yeah.
always putting up.
you're always putting up, always putting
Yeah.
into the wind. It's just so tricky, and I think we need more of this. And this is like you've talked about Eagles Crossing a lot. You really like that course. This is of that same aesthetic where they built the entire hole.
Right.
And so like I wanted to talk about it for that reason as well, where it's like really interesting to see that they built this entire hole and they did make it exactly what they wanted, and it's close. Again, it like has its faults and maybe its flukiness that you're talking about,
Yeah.
like on the right side, but
Yeah,
it's
but like you
trying
said,
to
you
be
can avoid it,
something
yeah.
that I think is a good concept. Is kind of my point.
I think 18 does a lot of those things just way better, is what I would
Okay.
say.
Oh,
Like it's
interesting.
also like manicured.
It's
Right.
got
It's
the
also
tiers.
got like the
Right.
tiers. So like I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the decision making isn't as much there because
Right.
everyone on 18 is like, I am
go
throwing
for
a
it.
putter, I am throwing it straight, I am trying to park this basket. Whereas
Totally.
6, you guys made a bunch of different decisions and you were like, okay,
I
maybe
saw
we're
somebody
taking the
throw a
spike
4-handed
hyzer in the
roll and
practice
almost
round.
thrown in the basket.
Maybe
crazy.
3 of
That
those.
is crazy.
Three
Yeah,
handles.
that's true.
But yeah, you guys tried out the spike hyzer in practice.
Yeah.
You know, you
Right.
play to the left side. You can play right into the hill if you want to, or the main part of the hill, and try that. You can try and go long if you want to, and there's like a little less of a slope.
Yeah.
So there's some intrigue there. But
So the one thing that I really like about this hole that 18 doesn't have is the aspect of it's hard to get a par. Okay? In order to
Right.
get a par on this hole, you have
True.
to either lay up perfectly with
Yeah.
a nice flat putt onto that
Terrifying.
hill for your tap in, or you have to make a 20-foot putt on an uphill windy basket.
Yeah.
Those are your only options, right? And because of that, 18 doesn't have that. You know, it's easy to get your par. You mess up the shot, you just jump putt up there, you get a tap in.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what I really enjoy about par threes is when birdies are hard, but pars are also not given.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and it's such an important thing. And
Very true.
I,
That's a good
I did a little list of like honorable mentions, and at 17 from MVP was on it, and another one that's very similar in that regard is 15 at Nokia.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is my favorite par three. We've talked about a few, and I think this one might
good
be
one.
my favorite. And this one is such a good example of there is no easy way to get a par.
Yeah.
I think that getting a par on that hole is tricky, and you have to have a game plan, and you have to execute meticulously. And I even laid up, played for par, missed my 28-foot putt, took a bogey,
Yeah.
and was like, screw it, I am sending it for the pin every round after this. Birdied it twice. But it's so satisfying when you birdie it. There's so many different things you have to factor into the way you're going for it. There's a few different ways to actually go for the green. I think that 15 at Nokia is another excellent hole to that decision making of
Yeah.
you really do have to decide, and nothing's given.
Yep.
Yeah, that's one of the layup play is so tough on that. You know, it's like I don't want that second shot. That's the big reason why I go for that hole every time. It's like I don't want to lay up and then have to throw another shot that's like tricky, try to stay in bounds, and then like hopefully I have less than a 25-foot putt.
You're adding an extra hard shot to your
Yeah.
round.
I'd rather just throw.
You're playing one more hole than the rest of us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather just throw OB out the back, roll back in bounds.
Roll back in. Shout out OTB.
OTB. Gosh. Clutch.
Okay, Goose, you had a question from this week's course, or a preposition or proposition or something.
Let
on
me just
hole
throw this one
11.
at you. I thought this one was kind of funny. It's
You've been
not
waiting
actually that
patiently.
funny. All right, so I ordered a matrix from Andrew, right?
Yep.
And I was like, hey, can you send me 2 matrix es? Okay, so here's the question. All right.
No. Grammar?
Yeah, it's grammar. It's grammar.
Gosh,
okay.
this is my
so
worst.
a matrix is a it's like an array or something like that. You know, it's
Yeah.
and so if you have multiple of them, they're matrices, right?
Oh, right.
But a matrix, the disk, is like a proper noun.
Yeah.
Do you use the same ending for the proper noun, or would it be matrices for the actual name of the disk? Or would you have to go matrices again?
See, this is why I just throw disc draft stuff. 'Cause it's so much more simple.
I would say you use the different one. You
Right,
use
it'd
the
be
one
as-
that's specifically for the mound, or for the noun, not mound.
Really?
We've been talking
You would
course
say
design
it's,
too much.
I'd send me a couple matrices?
No.
Oh, no, you say
matrices.
matrices.
Yeah, sorry. Maybe I
So,
didn't explain myself.
another
well, but
great example
I
of
would say
this.
matrices. That would make sense to me. But
You put Richard Gossage in a room with me, and you're like, oh, there's 2 gooses in the living room.
I just wouldn't go in that room. I'm avoiding that room at all costs.
Or is it 2 geese?
I hate that. I don't know.
Right? See?
I don't know.
Because the proper noun is the goose.
Yeah.
And it relates to the person.
2 gooses.
So it'd
Technically.
be 2 gooses,
yeah.
right?
yeah.
The matrix one is easy. Like you can say, "Hey, Andrew, can you send me a matrix?" And then text him again and say, "Actually, can you send me 2?" And that's it.
There we go.
You're
There we
done.
go.
It's simple.
Ezra's got it covered.
This is the
Yeah.
problem solving that comes from somebody that tries not to say as many R's as possible.
It is.
He knows the roundabout way to get there. It's
So is a dance.
impressive.
So is a dance. I don't even try that hold though. Like I don't even avoid walls that bad, like that much.
Every now and then
I
I'll
don't
see
know.
you do it, and I'll
Yeah.
be like,
okay, that was.
I finally figured out why you said that that way.
You're on to me. That's
Well, here's an R1. Rule changes. We wanted to get into this. We've been at this a while, but we're committed. The fans can just have a long episode and enjoy the first one. Yep.
We've got a few interesting ones this year. I forgot to bring this up. I guess.
Let me try my overlay thing.
Let's see if that works.
Yeah. It might take me a
I
second.
see camera 3.
Yep. So if we hit camera 3, and we hit auto, and then we go. Boom.
Couple really interesting rules.
Look at that technology, folks.
That's cool.
That is cool. All right, what do you?
clutch.
I have Control F up. So what do you want me to find?
Let's start with the first one that I think will be the most controversial. That is that the player can no longer vouch for their own shot. How do they phrase it?
Voting, maybe. If
No,
I
it's-
search that,
they
here we
can
go.
Oh, yeah. This.
Yeah, thrower. Okay, here we go.
Lobby.
Enforcement.
They can
Thrower
no
no
longer
longer
lobby.
votes
This is
on
an interesting one.
determinations. Yeah.
This is an interesting one. I
So
can see both
basically,
sides.
in the past, we've had a rule that's kind of like benefit of the doubt goes to the player. And this rule has kind of been misinterpreted for a very long time. People think that means that if there's any doubt of what happened at all, you have to give it to the player. So if there's a chance they crossed in, if there's a chance that this happened, it has to go to the player. That's not what the rule ever was. The rule was always call the rule the way it was.
Yep.
Okay, and if there's a split decision on what the decisions between the card mates are,
Right.
then it goes to the player. Whatever the most advantageous situation is to the player, even if the player is voting against themselves.
Yeah.
Right.
It still goes to the player.
Yeah, individually, you can't just say, like, oh, it's too close to call, so I guess benefit to player. You have to make a definitive answer of what you think it is. Everyone has to do that, and if it's 2 and 2, then it goes to whatever's best for the player.
And they've specifically gone into the rules this year and said this whole benefit to the player thing, not a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not something we're doing it. And on top of that, the player no longer gets to vote in the ruling.
Right.
Let me read this part off the screen. So it says all players, excluding the thrower, must participate in the first vote. The option with the most votes is the determination of the group. The thrower may briefly state their opinion, but may not argue or lobby the group for an outcome. The thrower who argues or lobbies an outcome has committed a courtesy violation. So they can't vote and you can't argue.
You gonna be calling
can
on that.
You can state
Yeah.
something, basically, or state what you think happened, and then that's it. That's
State what you
my
think happened.
interpretation of it,
Oh,
off
okay.
the rip. But
I like that. 'Cause I think they should be able to state, because like they do have the
Definitely.
best view of it.
yeah,
know?
you should be watching your own
should be
shot
watching your
more
own
than
shot.
other
Yeah.
people are watching your shot. Although we should, in theory, be watching them all at the same rate.
Yeah,
but
we don't do
we
that,
know
though.
we
We
know
don't
the
do
reality
that.
of it. You know, so
So there's one exception to that, and that is a player is allowed to abstain from voting only if they are not present at the time of the shot being thrown. And we looked at this, and if a player abstains for any other reason, they're given a courtesy violation. And on top of that, if the player's not present at the time of the shot being thrown, they're probably getting a courtesy violation to begin with for not watching the shot,
Right.
which is something that they are required to do.
Yeah.
So basically, you have to, you can't abstain. Like, there's almost
That's
no
crazy.
way, aside from like saying, hey guys, I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then somebody throwing anyway while you're in the bathroom. That's
Right.
the only logical thing I can see work.
here's the question: are they allowed to throw while somebody else is in the bathroom, or do you have to wait for your whole card to be present?
And I don't know about that.
In my mind, it makes sense to have to wait for your whole card to
wait
be
for the card
present,
to be
but I
present,
don't know.
For sure.
That I should know that, and we should look that up. But
So this leads to a couple weird situations that we were briefly talking about. The first one is a lot of times, everybody watches a shot and then it goes out of sight. So we obviously didn't all see the shot. So that's something that just happens. So nobody's required to watch the entirety of any shot.
Right.
They're just required to watch it. I don't know. So that's a little vague. Then on top of that, players have to give it a vote. And some players may not have seen the shot finish, may not have seen it, may not have a good perspective on it, and now they have to vote.
Yeah.
And then the third thing is the player themselves almost always is the one watching their entirety of their shot,
Yep.
and knows their own shot the best,
Right.
and probably has the best understanding. And now their vote doesn't count.
Yeah. They're also the most biased too, though.
Potentially,
Potentially. Some people for sure will cheat that. I mean,
they could be the most biased,
Yeah.
but there's also a chance that the players playing against them are the most
that's
biased.
true too.
Right?
That's true too.
So it is a very strange situation in that nobody has no bias,
Right.
right?
Right.
Aside
Yeah.
from potentially a marshal or something like that.
it's tough too because we're assuming sportsmanship here too.
Yes.
That's part of what our sport is. We're assuming that everybody is going to be a fair sport about everything, and it doesn't always seem to work out that way, and people take things in a very harsh way sometimes. They take things personally a lot of the time with calls, and I guess that leads into part of what we wanted to talk about, which is like, does this increase, like not this,
tension?
Increase tension or increase, or will it increase people calling rules too?
Right.
I think more often than not, too, people will give somebody else a good call just to reduce tension.
Reduce tension.
It's
right.
like
oh,
it's
fine,
like
I'll give it to you.
it's like
Right.
opposite bias sportsmanship taken too far almost.
But
see
I
what
would
you
say
mean.
that a lot of the
I-
time.
Well, also so that they don't have to receive flack
Yeah,
or
exactly.
argue a
Right.
call
Yeah.
because, well, now they can argue a
See what
call.
the
That's the big one.
repercussions.
So now,
Yeah.
in theory,
Those-
the idea is that you're not arguing a call,
Yeah.
and the person shouldn't have to deal with any flack for just giving their actual stated opinion. So maybe this
Exactly.
is a good thing.
So the thing is, like, when you're saying like, "Hey, you didn't go out of bounds," the person can't come back at you.
Right.
Like that's a courtesy violation for them to be like, "No, you're wrong. I was
nice.
actually here." Immediately,
Yeah. That's
you know
kinda
what I
nice.
mean? So it's a weird situation in that you may get more just like, "Hey, I think it's this." You know,
Just objective.
the person that changes their view is like, "Fine, I'll give it to you." Is only saying that after you've yelled at them for 10
Right.
minutes and saying like, "I'm right and you're
Yeah.
wrong."
Yeah.
Overall, you guys, positive or negative? What do you guys think?
So this is what I think on this. I think that this is the PDGA or DGPT saying we are so tired of dealing with this situation that we're going to go a little too far the other way.
Yeah.
Okay? And I like it in general. So
Yeah.
I think it might be too much. I think that it's the person that throws the shot is probably the most likely to know the correct answer.
Right.
But I think it incentivizes everyone to be more objective.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like it as a whole. I think it has some negatives, but overall, I think it's a good thing. And I think it's a good, like, let's try to just shift the mindset to a different perspective.
Yeah. I think positive in general too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
One thing I'll
We'll
throw
see how
at
it
you.
plays out, obviously.
What about spotters? I was wondering about this one. I think a lot of times I'm like, hey, I saw the shot, and I think he's out of bounds. We get up there, and the spotter says, hey, you actually crossed over here.
Yeah.
Do I have to be like, no, I thought he didn't cross, but the spotter had a better view. I have to go with the. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's always situational. Sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes I'll blindly
Yeah.
follow the spotter because I know they have a better spot, and sometimes
Right.
I'll push back because I'll be like, I know what I
It's
saw.
totally different with a blind
it's
corner
so bad.
on a
Right.
hole versus like, and then what distance is too far for us to make a judgment, right?
Yeah.
Like, is 500 feet away too far? Is 400? Like, where is that line? So
I guess what I
think it
usually
has
do
to
is,
remain
I'll be like,
neutral.
the spotter had the best view. If I get up there and he gives a spot that makes sense to me as to what happened as well,
It's believable.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. Or if it doesn't, then I'll talk to the spotter and see
Yeah.
if something weird happens,
Yeah.
and then make a decision otherwise. Okay, I
I
agree
think
with
that's
all
the
that.
right way to do it.
Yeah.
all right, the other one we wanted to cover was.
Let me throw
Oh,
this
yep,
out there.
yep.
I played 2 tournaments so far this year, and I can definitively say that the lobbying rule has been broken for me so far. This
Okay.
rule, and I didn't even remember that this was a new rule.
Right.
So it's going to be like tricky for this to like become a.
We can
Courtesy
easily-
violation on you, Goose, for not calling it
Right,
and not knowing
right.
the rule. No, I just, okay. You have something?
Names?
Ezra?
You gonna drop names? Who's,
No,
Okay. Okay.
definitely not dropping names.
This is the coolest names channel. I feel like this is like we just
Wow.
say anything.
I'm just saying that I think it's going to come up way more than people think,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to start saying, "Hey, man, you're not allowed to lobby for your shot.
Right.
Like, please stop talking, or I'll call you on a courtesy
Yeah, I think
violation."
that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
That's a good point. All right, the other one was time. Let's see.
We got
excessive
two
time.
new rules as far as time goes.
Oh yeah, I know one of them.
The first one is one of my favorite rules they've added to this, and that is that you get 30 seconds to throw your tee shots from any tee pad and any drop zone and any shot within 20 meters of the basket. So basically,
Right.
inside.
Inside 20 meters.
So any putt,
Oh,
any tee shot, any drop zone,
Okay.
you get 30 seconds to throw your shot.
okay.
Any shot that is not one of those, you get
Oh.
45 seconds.
Okay.
So basically, they're saying from any fairway shot,
Yeah.
you get 45 seconds to throw your tee shot. You throw your shot, which
Okay.
means that you're in a situation that you may or may not have been in before. You have to, figure out what you're going to do from there. You need a little bit more time to make that decision. I think that's a great change. I
Okay.
think that's the spot where people actually need the time. Versus you should have your shot figured out on tee shots,
Right.
and putts should be pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
I disagree. I think it's bad.
so they did that,
Yeah.
and then they also added
This is the big one.
very, very specific rules
Yeah.
on what addressing your lie actually is.
Let me read
And-
these off.
Yes.
So the allotted time begins after the previous player has thrown, and the player is next in the throwing order, and the player has determined the location of their lie, and the player has addressed their lie, and the playing area remains clear. And the addressing the lie is the big one. And so this is what I also have to read. The player has addressed their lie at the point when they begin taking any action indicating they are preparing to throw. Such actions include, but are not limited to, marking the lie with a mini, placing a supporting point on the lie, executing a pre-shot routine, using a rangefinder, checking the wind, clearing casual obstacles, or testing the ground and footing. So that has a lot of stuff that a lot of people do well before when they think their 30 seconds starts currently.
Yep.
But now I guess it's 45. But
On
I
some
like
counts
that.
and not others. So I think that's a great change, right? The issue becomes a little bit of like people do those things without kind of like realizing it.
Yep.
And it could, all those other things could be true. So like it could be my turn to throw, you know, nothing's in the way, something like that. And I check the wind 20 feet before I get to my lie. Technically my time started right there and I'm not even at my lie yet.
yeah, your bag could still be on, in theory. Yeah.
Rangefinder, you do anything like that.
I feel like a lot of the times though, you're doing that stuff like 20 feet behind your lie if someone else is throwing.
Right.
And if they haven't finished throwing yet, then you're good.
I totally agree. I think it's a great rule change, but I think the two together work really well. I like the 45 seconds on the fairway, plus I like this.
Yeah.
I think that it just makes everything way more defined, and defined is what I'm looking for. And so when you get into situations, you just know exactly what starts your time. You know when your time starts. You do any of these actions, boom, you're like, I'm going.
Yep.
I am on the exact opposite side of this thought.
Okay.
I want this rule to be completely undefined. I want there to be no time structure at all. I want it to be all just like situational, you know? So like if someone's taking too much time, call them on it. You can call them on it. And if your card mates back you up, then it's like they get stroked. Because like a lot of the times,
if you just get seconded by your card
I don't know how that would work exactly. I'm just throwing the idea out here. But I think a lot of the times slow play happens outside of the throwing motion. You know, a lot of times if somebody's slow to pick their bag up, they'll slow to walk to the next, they'll slow to walk to their lie, they'll slow to put their discs back, clean stuff off. It's like a lot of times that stuff's taking forever, and that's what it's like. We can't call anybody on that because it's like it's outside of the rules. So it's like I think it should just all be arbitrary. And if like you know if you have a marshal on your card, he's supposed to call you on just being slow. You know, and if somebody's taking 4 or 5 seconds in a situation, it's like that's fine. You know.
So I agree with those things that you're saying.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
I think they can be in addition to this.
Yeah.
I think that the two kind of work well together.
I think it's not going to go well if we don't define things. Well, I mean, it doesn't really go well right now.
We're
to
just
be fair,
defining
not a lot
the-
of people are calling stuff, so that's why they're trying to make this change, is to get more people to call things.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the thing too. Is like I'm never gonna go like start putting people on the clock on hole one. I'm never gonna do that.
That's
I'm
the
gonna
hard part.
you know it's gonna be like 4 holes in. I'm like, man, this post is taking a long time. Like,
Right.
maybe I'll start my clock. Instead, I can just be like, he's taking forever on every single shot. I'm gonna call him on it.
Yeah,
And then now he's faster.
Yeah,
I don't think
they
they don't have
that's
time.
ideal.
They don't have time in golf, do they? PGA.
They've
I
got
think it's just
that's a
arbitrary.
good question.
don't
I
they?
don't
Isn't
know.
it?
they've got marshals that
Yeah.
will come tell you that you have to speed up.
But I think it's
That's
it's
all I know.
Yeah, I could be wrong on this
I
too,
would
but
have
I'm
to
pretty sure it's just arbitrary to where it's just like if you're taking too much time, they call you on it, and it's not like actually.
So I do agree.
I don't know.
I do
I think
agree
it could
that,
work. I think we could. I have enough hope and faith in humanity and the Pro Tour and the people that play on it that we could make that work and it wouldn't just be a disaster.
Right.
It seems to be recommended, just like a cursory Google search. It says recommended 40 seconds. So I don't know if
Okay.
that's like legitimately 40 seconds or if it's just a recommendation and then people kind of work off of that where they can.
I do agree that the walking slowly, telling stories, doing things like that takes
Yeah.
up probably more time than the other
So
things.
annoying.
I think that you can call those things to these rules. Like, here's a great example. Okay, one of the things I think takes so much time is doing scores. Some people do the scores in a way that is so slow.
Yeah.
Technically, by the way the rules are written, doing scores is part of your 30 seconds.
If it's your full
If it's
stop.
your turn to throw,
Right.
that's not one of
Yeah.
those rules. It's not an exception to your time starting. The tee-pad is clear. It is
Right.
your turn to throw. You
a
are
good
the
point.
person going. It is your job to go up to that tee-pad and throw your shot, I think.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong there.
No, you're
Maybe
right. I think that'd be
Yeah.
a crazy call to
Technically,
make, but I
technically
think
you're right, but yeah, nobody's going to
The
call
way
it.
it's said, I don't know where the scoring fits in. Maybe there's a rule that says scoring must be done as a group before you move on to the next hole.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It might say that. I'm sorry, I haven't dived in that. But
Yeah.
this is a good example of just like, hey, it's your turn. let's keep the disc golf going, and then when you throw your shot,
Yeah.
you can be like, okay, now let me come back and get my scores for everybody, right?
The other thing I want to bring up with this is we now have 2 time extensions, and you get 2 30-second time extensions. They are given to you at not at discretion. They're just given to you automatically if you're going over that time, and the card somebody else is supposed to give you that time extension. So
Okay, I like that.
it's like it is automatic. So if you do get called on one, and this it now takes till the 3rd time. There are no warnings anymore, but it now takes till the 3rd time for someone to get penalized on a time violation. So
it's kind
good
of
or bad thing there.
It's basically like giving a second warning. Does that make sense?
It's already so confusing.
But you
Right.
also
No, I'm
can
kidding,
call
I'm
on it
kidding.
yourself. You can say, hey,
Right.
I want one of my time extensions. I want to take this now. I'm going to take a minute on this shot. A minute 15 in the fairway. But,
So here's my thought on this.
yeah.
What they're trying to do with this, they're trying to change the culture of disc golf to be a point where people will call rules, and nobody wants to call things right now because they're worried about the backlash and if you give a warning and then a penalty that hurts someone, you don't want to do these negative things.
Yeah.
But now that we have these time extensions, it's not a penalty immediately. It's not anything like that. It's a reasonable amount of like, hey, you're taking too much time. There's your extension.
Yeah.
Right. So they're trying to change the culture of people calling the rules.
Yeah.
I think it's going to backfire. I think the number one people that are going to call time extensions are going to be on themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that about the same amount of people are going to call it on other people. And now you need to call it one more time before there's a penalty, before
Right.
there's any repercussions.
I see what you're saying with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, I understand Gannon from this perspective, and obviously from the Pro Tour finale, that was a perfect example of a great opportunity to use a time extension and be like, hey, this shot is super important. This is a really important time for me to have a little extra time. Let me use my time extension in this situation.
And it would have happened automatic. You wouldn't have had to say anything.
Right,
No
they
one
would've-
would say anything
They
until
would have
after the
said,
shot.
there's your time extension. Now you have your 30 seconds to throw your shot.
Right.
Something like that, right?
Right.
And it is the perfect situation to use them. So I understand why they're being put into place for that reason.
Yeah.
I do think overall it'll make slower pace of play.
That's kind of. I was worried about that too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on.
Not too many. I think you're mostly right on that. It's hard for me to imagine people calling it, especially now calling it more than they used to have to call it to
Right.
get to the same result of penalties. Not
And-
that like the goal is to give somebody a penalty. The goal is to enforce the rules,
Yeah.
but
Right.
it's just really hard to imagine that suddenly we take it from calling this almost never to now calling it enough to like get to the point where the calls matter almost,
Right.
essentially, if that makes
Because
sense.
the penalty is what's going to actually make people.
Yes,
maybe
exactly. Like
show
nobody
up.
really cares if you use a time extension. It's like
Right.
kind of the thing you come home and complain about to your touring buddies.
Right,
It's like,
right.
oh, so and so called me on this time extension. And it's like, really, we shouldn't get that.
But it might even
perturbed
change
over
the
that.
culture a little bit.
Maybe.
And instead of being like, hey, I got called on a time extension, it'll be like, oh, I used a time extension.
Right.
You know what I mean? I took extra
That's-
time
yeah.
because I wanted to. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
it's
People
possible.
could start to do it themselves with the in mind that they know the time extension is coming.
Or even,
regardless.
right.
Yeah.
Somebody else calls it on them.
Yeah.
But even in their head, they're like, this is a
Okay,
good
but
spot
I
for
made
me
the
to-
decision.
I'm going
I'm
to
gonna
use
use
one
it,
here.
yeah.
I'm-
If
yeah.
people
I think
feel
that's
like they're
part of the
in
way it'll be.
control, then I
Yeah.
think you're right.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of the
It
question.
does feel like it's all worded to be like less like attackive. Well, it's like instead of it being like, hey man, this is a warning, you better shape up. It's like, hey man, use 30 seconds, you only got one more.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a little bit more.
I guess.
so.
Yeah.
I like the way they
Makes
defined
sense.
the
I don't want.
the different things.
I don't want it defined. It's fine. It's nice to finally have a
It's so
disagreement.
hard to time people. That's another.
That's the
issue.
thing, it's
Nobody
impossible.
wants to.
When do you start the
things.
timer? And then we get
they
pissed
just
off.
define that. That's the beauty
Well, yeah,
of it. 'Cause
kinda.
Now,
It's
if
like
I
that's-
intend to time someone,
know.
I go,
That's still
boom,
gonna be-
rangefinder, start.
Yeah.
I have an exact time, right?
Okay, well, it's good for you, Goose. You will be the one person to do it then, and you
It
take
is
full
funny.
advantage.
I
I love
talked
it.
to-
I just don't want to play with you anymore then.
I talked to one of the PDGA guys, and he was like, here's the issue with time violations. How many time violations have you called in your life? And I'm like, I think I've called 3 this year. He's like, really?
You got the
You're
wrong
the
guy.
only person
Yeah.
that's called one that I've ever even heard of. And I'm like, yeah, I've called 3 this year.
Yeah.
I'm like, it pisses me off sometimes.
Yep.
And it only pisses me off when there's a 4-hole gap between us and the next card.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
It's when we're backing up the course. That's when it's important, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I just want to call people on yapping too much. That's my only thing. When you're on
Yeah,
the when you're on the
yeah.
tee box and talking about a story for 3 minutes, it's like, bro, You gotta throw your shot.
If I had a
Can you-
flag right now, I
can do
would
it
throw
all.
it for this podcast. We've been yapping for
I
an
will
hour
use,
and a half.
can we use one time extension and then we can finish the episode?
Yep.
We'll be okay.
Next week we'll try and keep it a little shorter, but let's get to the wrap up of this.
Quick
segment.
question.
Okay, yeah, no, we can continue, but
Can
like,
I don't care. Can we
Yeah.
use 2 time extensions on the same shot?
This is exactly
So
what I
you
was
can
going
say
to talk about.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Check this out.
See now, well, 2 hours in, Eli will start to cook.
yeah,
It says specifically in the rules that you can't use 2 time extensions
Okay.
on the same shot. So check this one out. Someone is going to be throwing their shot, and someone's going to say, hey, there's your time extension. And they're going to be like, oh, okay, thank you. And then they're going to be like, and there's your time penalty.
Right.
Because they took 30 seconds after getting the
Yeah.
timing.
That's a good point.
That's going to happen.
but are they going to say, because you're still not calling the time extension until after the shot, right? Or do you call it in like, because you can't interrupt somebody
If they're wrestling
walking up
around
to
in the
run-
bushes and
Yeah.
like going to get a disc,
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be like, hey man, that's 30 seconds. You're gonna have
okay.
to use your time extension as they're
Okay.
walking back to their lie,
Right.
right?
Interesting,
And
yeah.
they'll be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They walk back to their lie. They address it again.
Right.
30 seconds starts again. Okay, let's say they take another 30 seconds. You can just be like, boom, stroke. You still have
Yeah.
a time extension
Yeah.
left.
Yep. But you can't
gotta
use it.
You got to.
So let's say you hit 45 seconds and you're mid run up. You call them on that. You say like, hey man, it's 45 seconds time extension, and then they shake
They
the
shake the
shot.
shot.
And you're like, I'm just trying to save you, bro. Like,
I think you get called for
oh,
impeding- courtesy for,
violation for
intentionally impeding their shot with you saying something. I wondered
Okay.
about that though.
that's funny.
It's funny. All right.
Okay,
well,
okay, we're good. We're good.
yeah, we can start to wrap things up, but yeah, I guess just
Oh, these would be fun.
quickly we can talk about Supreme Flight Open. What's upcoming? What we expect? Which players we think are going to pop off? Something like that. We'll keep it pretty freeform. We don't need to like list anything out, but
So I'm going to start with this one.
Yeah.
Gannon Burr. I think everybody's picking to be really solid, and I even picked him because I didn't have a better pick at the time. I think he's going to be rusty. I think we
He
are
always
going.
is,
I think
somehow.
we're going to see.
you saw
Not-
his game most recently.
Not top tier, and it was not good. He missed a bunch of putts. I didn't see the round he shot 17 down. so
Open
maybe-
disc golf. How do you play?
Is what?
Open disc golf. How did he play?
Oh, he
well,
I can't.
we
I
can't spoil
I
it.
can't
We
spoil
can't
it.
spoil it.
Oh.
Man, he tried.
Well, I wanted to hear the details. I wanted to say.
Almost got
Here's the
it.
thing: is putting it's almost always bad at the beginning of the year. He takes a little bit of time to like get into it, so I don't think
I'm
he's
sure he
going to be
takes
as
his time.
dominant as everyone thinks he's going to be right out of the gate. That's my hot take,
Okay.
but I don't know who's going to play better than him.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair.
You know what's interesting? This event has happened twice, and each time there's been a first-time champion at it.
Really? Okay. All right.
Anthony Buella, Ezra Robinson.
I like that. That
How are you feeling this week, Goose? How are you feeling this week? He goes, hey, Luke Taylor, how are you feeling this week?
that bodes interesting, to say the least.
I'm just saying. I mean,
yeah.
it is.
I think that goes back to maybe the variety of what this course is and how there is an opportunity for anyone to play well. I think that's one of the cool things about this course. I mean, obviously the best players still rise to the top no matter the course, but when it's something like this, I don't think there's a specific skill set that is leaned into too much by the course itself.
Right.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And I think
Do you
that
disagree with that?
That is a skill set. Is having all the skill sets.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think that it really
You're right.
sets
That's a
up.
good point.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So a great example of that, Ricky Wysocki. I think he's played very well here in years past. Took second, and then I think he was on lead card. Don't know what he finished. Probably top 5.
Okay, yeah.
Great player for this kind of course. He's got a lot of different shots. I don't think you can count Paul Macbeth out. It is his course.
Yeah.
He has all the skills as well. AB has always played really well here as well. So I think those are 3 that you got to look out for, as well as obviously Gannon and myself.
Honestly, Goose, I like this tournament for you. You've already proved that you can play well out here.
You want courses
I
you
feel like
enjoy
your game is
too.
Yeah.
is
And,
looking
and
good
if
right
you enjoy
now.
playing the course,
That's
you tend to
true.
play better. Like
It
that is a
is
big
fun.
factor. You
It's
under
that interest level I'm talking about, man.
yeah. People don't think about that one too much,
You want it
and
when you
it's
got
true.
the drive. You go out every day and you're like having fun.
Yep,
It's
it's
a
a
good
big
point.
one. Yeah,
I think there's a chance. I got to hit the practice basket. I just
Yep.
got to get a ton of putts in,
Yep.
and I got a chance.
yeah. FPO, any thoughts FPO wise? I don't know. It's tough. I don't feel like I keep up on the FPO as much. I should do a better job, but
It's
Kristen's
really
not playing
tough.
anymore.
Kristen's not playing anymore.
Yeah,
What
I
we've
don't
got,
know. I don't know.
Holland, Missy, Silva, like that's
had
kind of
I think
all-
Holland's going to be good again.
We had a playoff last year between Holland
Oh, and Ella.
and
Ella?
Ella,
Yep.
and
It was just the two of them. There was who else was close? Somebody
There
was
was
close.
a there was a
Let me
third.
look.
Well, like Evelina, I feel like she could do well.
Yeah, I think it might have been Evelina.
Was it Evelina?
I don't think it was the playoff, but they all had a chance
Okay.
on 18. You know, it was like within a stroke or something like that.
All right, give me 1 sec. I can get up our.
It's hard. I don't know the women's quals at
What
all.
those 3 players have?
Oh, Evelina was in the playoff.
She was in the playoff.
She was in the
because
playoff.
they did the playoff twice. They
True.
played 18
Yep.
3 times in a row.
Ooh.
Yep.
Evelina played it twice, and then that's
sick,
what it
okay.
was.
Yeah,
And
interesting.
the thing that all 3 of those players have is distance and a forehand.
Yeah.
It's so important out here. It really requires you to throw all the shots, and I think that is going to be huge. And Ella won it last year
I won it.
Yeah, she did.
because she got 18 3 times in a row. I think something like that. It was an incredible
Yeah,
playoff.
I don't know. Let's see if I can see the playoff.
So that's a good
Oh,
thing
I
to think
do.
about.
Okay, she did par it. It's a par 5 for them. She did par it on 18, like in round 3,
Okay.
and then birdied it both times in
Birdied
the
in the
playoff.
playoff,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
That's sick.
or no. Sorry, eagled
Eagled,
both
right.
times in the playoff.
I was
That
pretty
is
sure
huge.
it was
Great,
it was
yeah.
a couple monster shots.
Yeah, good
to-
call. Good
to-
call. Sorry, I had to correct myself there, but yeah,
Wow.
super exciting. I feel like FPO should shape up pretty exciting the whole season.
Yeah.
I would imagine because there is no like Kristen dominating force, but maybe somebody will emerge.
Right.
You know.
That's
I feel
what's
like it
so
keeps
cool
getting better and
about
better.
the beginning of the year is we
Yeah.
have no idea where anyone's at. Like,
Yep. It's fun.
it's just such a open board. Like anyone could come out and be a top 5 player. You know, like just come out and get top 5 of the first tournament and then keep it going. It's like you just went from 50th in the world to a top 5 player immediately. Like
Right.
I don't know, easier said than done, but still,
Yeah.
like none of us
It's
know
kinda
who that's
cool.
going to be. I was thinking about last year. I think the number 1 dark horse pick last year was Sullivan Tipton.
I was thinking about
Yeah.
it too.
I mean, just none of us. He had a few pop-off tournaments at the beginning of the year. We're like, oh, he's playing well, and then he kept it the whole season.
Yeah.
It was a dominant performance from him. Huge jump in standings.
He could do well out here too with the forehand.
Right.
I'm sure
and
some
he's got
people saw
the
it
he's got the
coming,
physical
but-
fitness. You know, he's
Yeah.
running around the course. I saw a video today of him like running the course with some other guy. I didn't really know
Yeah,
who
he
that
was
was. but-
Teves with
You know
T-Box.
that
Yeah,
guy?
with
Okay, yeah,
Ledgestone.
Oh, so
Yeah,
I don't
Teves
know
told
everybody
me.
on tour still, so forgive me.
He's like, I talked to him today. He's like, yeah. He's like, I ran the course with Sully. He's like, he did like 7:15 pace, I think,
Minute miles,
or
yeah.
something. I don't know how long they ran, but it's
Wow.
like on a mountainous
On the-
terrain.
on the
I'm sure it was a
hilly
lot of miles.
stuff, yeah.
Like he's just ripping through.
That's
impressive.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah, he's ripped.
Yeah. All right. I mean, does that
Well, cool.
kind of wrap our first episode here?
Yeah,
I
we'll
guess?
see if this is kind of the content everyone's looking for. I know we talked about course design. We'll do a little bit of segment on that each time. I know
Yeah.
we're yapping a lot, but
Yeah.
we got some interesting things to say. And make sure to comment below anything you guys would like us to talk about. I know that we don't always cover everything.
Yeah.
That being said, big shout out to MVP, IDEO,
Yep.
OTB. We're all on. Those
Yep.
are the sponsors I have, so go check those out.
Yeah, Discraft, Squatch, OTB, Ledgestone. For me.
Yep. OTB, Renew disc golf bags, really light disc golf bag, and then just some other cool things will crop up through the season. I'm sure.
Yeah.
OTB collabs and stuff like that. I'm sure. We could all do a collab maybe
Yeah.
at some point.
I think
That
that'd
would
be sick.
cool.
That'd be sick.
We'll see. We'll see what we get going for you, but.
But
Yeah.
regardless, thanks for watching. We promise that it is not a rickroll this time, and we will keep
Unless
the
we rickroll.
Oh, I don't have it queued up.
Oh.
All right, the technology will improve too. We can maybe get some.
We'll
like-
rickroll you guys next time.
Yeah,
Don't
we'll
worry
get some
about it.
extra graphics to put in, etc. It's exciting prospect to start a new thing like this. So
Yeah.
I'm
This has been
excited.
fun, guys. Honestly, I
Yeah.
feel like we have some yapping to do off camera after this, and then
Yep.
we should probably close it out.
just more.
We're gonna cut the tape and
yeah.
just keep yapping.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. Not move from the chairs, but all right. We'll see you guys next time. Take it easy. Is that
Easy.
part of it?
I'll say take it easy. What do you got?
Where's the honk?
No, I hate that. I hate that.